Ireland did you heap and goy, heap and goy. Two old men who like to complain. Heap and goy, heap and goy. We hope that you will come back again.
Those are some great photos you chose. That's a walk
Yeah,
down memory lane. That
yeah,
was really
yeah.
good.
So it's a special episode. You're back after 2 weeks off at Wasteland Weekend at your fakakta pooping in the desert in a bucket apocalyptic event.
Dan, I thought of you often, as I often do, and because it's such a strange, unique place to be, and there are things that happen to you and that you experience as a 56-year-old man that will not experience at any other place. Vegas, Burning Man, can't touch it. There are things that you see and hear and experience that are just so amazingly unique. And I was like, boy, if Dan saw this, his head would explode.
It's a weird thing because I would absolutely hate like the whole shtick around it, like the no air conditioning and the dirty people and all that.
Yeah.
But I love
You love people watching,
people
and
watching.
yeah,
Yes, yeah, and you get some unique folk at this thing.
the people
So
watching, and it's not just watching; you're interacting with these people too, right?
yeah, I
And
would dig
that's
that part. So if
you would
I
love it. You would love mixing it up with I know you.
Yeah, I would. As long as I had that, like you said, that RV with the air conditioning and the power and the
Here's the
running
deal
water.
so for the first time, I camped out there in the middle of nowhere, of course, and I camped. A friend of mine actually got in one of those Tour America RVs. I think that's what they're called. And they have the word America on them in big letters, and it's like a rental thing. So he had one going. It had a gas generator and stuff, and it was the hottest wasteland on record. It was regularly 103, 104 during the day. Nighttime temperatures were great. They were like 65, 70. So I was able to run around in sexy outfits all night long. But during the day, it was so hot. Most people just were dying, but for me, 103, 104 was like, oh, it's child's play. I could fucking sleep in the tent during the day, no problem. But a guy had an RV, one of those, and it had the air conditioning going. He's like, hey, you want to come in here? And so I'm like, yeah. So I got in there to one of these Tour America RVs, and he had the air conditioning on. I was messing there because they had all their shit in there. It was just a couple, but it was like a little house. It was cool. They had the air conditioner going. I'm like, oh, this is the luxury. He's like, you want an ice cream bar? I'm like, you got a fucking ice cream bar in here? They give me an ice cream bar, and I was like, dude, this is nice.
Yeah,
So
I think if I did that, but so you're saying they had to run a generator, so there's no hookups, is what you're saying.
there's no hookups. There's
Oh, so you
no
have to bring your own
hookups.
power too.
Yeah. There's zero. You're
Ooh.
literally,
Well,
how like where you're in the middle of a big grass field. It's 5 acres, and that's just what they're. This is a big dirt field with no hookups. I'm talking no water, no electricity, nothing. In the middle of a 10-mile radius is just.
hmm.
It looks the way that it did probably back in the dinosaur
So
days.
if I could helicopter in for just like 12
Right.
hours, I would do that. I don't think I could. I don't because the problem with the generator, it's fine, it'll work, but you got to keep putting gas in it. You know?
I mean, people go out there and they bring gas cans and they keep that thing going. I could see you
Yeah.
going out there for just the Friday and the Saturday, bring a couple extra gallons of gas, and just that's
A
what you do.
couple gas, like that's a lot of gas, man. I mean, my generator powers my RV if it's full for like maybe 6 hours, something like that, 7 hours. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you would. A lot of people
Those are
just use it.
smaller though. Those are smaller RVs. This is a big one. So yeah.
Yeah, this
Um,
was a smaller bit. And then I asked them how. I said point blank, how much does this cost? I want to know. You
yeah.
rented this in Phoenix, drove it all the way out here, all the way back, all in gas and everything. What are you looking at? And he goes, I don't know, like 1,500. I'm like, that's not bad. That's not
No,
bad.
it's not too bad. I mean, it's for the week too, right?
Whole week, all in. I
Yeah.
was like 1,500. He's like, it's probably a little less than that.
I mean, plus you have a refrigerator. You can have a sandwich,
Dude,
like a
he's got
normal
it.
person.
He's set. I mean, me, I'm in there.
Actually, and if it's 65 at night, you don't even need power at night. You don't need AC if it's
You know,
65.
everyone's turning on their AC just in the hottest part of the day, and every
Yeah, because
once in a
65
while,
is nice. Like you could
65.
leave the
This is
windows
why
open.
I really liked the temperature because this is my 11th wasteland. I've been to ones where the wind was really bad, and the wind is worse than the heat or the cold. The wind will shut down all activities. So there was no wind to speak of, which is super rare and super great. While other people were bitching about the heat, I'm like, you don't understand. We can wear these like sexy outfits at night. And by the way, there are a lot of good-looking people wearing next to nothing late at night when the alcohol starts flowing and everyone's getting friendly. And so it was really not really great for people watching and stuff. And
Yeah, I would enjoy the people watching aspect, but the rest of it, I don't know.
I would like to watch you trying your shtick on other people and like, mixing it up with them, which I think would go well for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a terrible idea. The problem is that's a long way to go for just a quick day or two.
I know, yeah, it's a lot.
That is a long way for me.
But I had a good time.
I'm sure you get some people from the East Coast though who go to this.
Fuck yeah, there are people from Europe. There's a girl there from Sicily. I mean, they fly in. It's a big deal. And there were, I think, 4,000 people there. They put a cap on it, so after 4,000 people, that's it. Which is good. That way, it keeps it from turning into this Burning Man nightmare, And but it was weird. It was the first time I didn't have my truck there, and some other dude bought it. So I saw my truck being driven around,
weird.
by some other dude. And I had mixed feelings about that, to tell you the truth. But I had a good feeling about it because the dude he barely painted it like the side a different color, and he left everything else untouched, like all my work that I did on it.
Oh, good.
Which I'm both ways. I thought, oh, if it was me, I really hope he would have changed it and did something to it. But then part of me was like, yeah, but it's good as it is. It's perfect. It doesn't need any more because I fucking made it. So
yeah, one of these days, man.
Dan. So let me tell the audience. So the whole time I'm at Waste, by the way, Dan is in charge of my phone plan somehow. And so Dan, I'm an employee of Dan's, and Dan got me the iPhone, and Dan always gets me extra iPhones and whatnot. He claps that right along. And so earlier this year, Dan's like, I've had it with Verizon. Verizon pissed Dan off. And so Dan, being the boss of his big corporation, was like, fuck you, Verizon. I'm going to AT&T. They sweeten the pot. So Dan switches everything over to AT&T, and this is my first year out in the wasteland with AT&T, not Verizon. When I go out there with Verizon, like there are 5 days it just won't work. There's just no signal. I'm happy to report the whole time with AT&T, the whole time I'm out there, I had one bar, but I was able to get on Facebook and scroll. I mean, not as fast, but I was like, damn, AT&T, it worked. And so I knew that I was able to keep on top of the news, and I was like, fuck, this big ass storm is headed right towards Dan. And I know Dan is very much like he doesn't care what is said in the news too much. And so Dan's got this whole thing that happened that I found out about his adventures in the storm. And I'm going to make fun of him for a part of it. But like Dan did very good with a lot of things, better than the Dan of 5 years ago would have handled. I think you would agree with that.
Yes. Yeah. I did hard prepping for this. Like,
you've improved a lot in the past 5 years in the terms of, self-reliance and being like a hardened prepper kind of a character than the Dan 5 years ago.
The only good thing about hurricanes is you have plenty of notice. They're coming.
They know it's coming.
Days. So for this one, Dan
lives in Florida. I put
a little green dot where I am.
Okay, that's where you live in the green dot, which is
right in the middle of
Gainesville.
The state. I'm 140 feet above sea level. So the worst part of the hurricane, which is the storm surge, does not impact me.
Right. Okay? Again, he's 145 feet above sea level, which is pretty good.
Really good. Yeah. So we had, forget Idalia, that was last year. Debbie and Helene, which is the yellow line and the blue line here, they hit almost the same fucking place.
Let me ask you this. The higher the category, the worse the storm? Like category 5 is the worst?
A 4, we have never in history, I don't believe, had a storm of that magnitude hit what they call the Big Bend. The Big Bend is that area of Florida where they see how it like curves to the panhandle.
It bends.
It's called the Big Bend, right?
Okay.
Now, it is insane. Odds, just talking about odds, to have 2 storms go that close together in the same season. It's just crazy. It's just insane. And Debbie was not as strong, but Debbie hung around. Debbie was a slow mover. So that sucked. It was just rocking and rolling for 2 days. Helene kept, you see how it did that jog to the right? You see the yellow there, how it jogged
right,
to the right
towards you.
That fucked me 6 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
That little jog. If that thing had stayed straight, I probably still would have had impact. So I knew it was going to be pretty bad. So what you have to do with a hurricane is you have to go around your property and you got to look for anything outside that could be a projectile that could fly.
And so you probably did that.
I did all of that.
Wow, look at you.
You would have been so proud.
You got out there with your overalls on, like, let me check out my land.
So I'm on a 10-acre field. There's no trees. This used to be farmland. It's all.
And I should tell Dan is getting a house built. So basically, Dan is living in a pretty decent sized 5th-wheel trailer with, like, you know, a pig structure and a chicken structure, and everything's pretty well made.
The pigs have a barn that is a permanent structure on a slab. The barn's fine. Barn would not be impacted unless it was just, it would have to be really bad. So not worried about the barn. But in the middle of again, 10 acres, no trees. Yeah. Trees are a mixed blessing. They're good because they block wind, but they're bad because they can get knocked over and knocked onto things. So I have no trees, so that means I don't have to worry about trees falling on my place, but I also have nothing to block the wind.
Yeah, I've seen this property. It's like a wide, flat, open thing. Just
it used to be it's been farmland for a century. This has been farmland forever. So very pretty out here. So anyway, so we have a well. The well's in the middle of the field. Okay, big, structure. I had some water treatment system, basically a softener and an iron filter put around it, and it's temporarily outdoors because I have nowhere else to put it. When the house is built, it will be moved to the house. But for now, it's just sitting in the field. It's totally fine outdoors, but it's not secured.
What is it? A bag of chemicals or a box?
No, it's a cylinder. It's a big, very tall cylinder with a lot of PVC coming in and out of it.
But it's like not secured to the ground.
Not secured. So, 20, 30 mile an hour winds, you're fine. No big deal. But this could be gusts of 90. So
what did you do with the cylinder?
You know what I did?
You took truck ties and put tent stakes and truck ties?
Better.
You surrounded it with cinder blocks, piled them up.
Kind of. The other plus of a hurricane is well in advance where the winds are going to come from. They'll tell you. East, northeast. East, northeast in this case. So
you knew it was going to be hitting the cylinder on the east side.
I had my guy come over.
Oh, your guy.
My guy. I said, here's what I want. I sound like your favorite guy. I want a wall. A wall.
Right.
The Mexicans are going to pay for it. Just kidding. I want a wall. Right. And I want the wall to face east and then a little bit to the south. East, southeast.
Wow.
That's where the winds are coming. So he put 4x4s in the ground, used 2x6s as the parts.
A wooden
just a 5 feet wide on one side by 3 feet.
Really?
That's it. Nothing fancy. Just enough to block. Because the 2 cylinders combined are like 4 feet.
Yeah. So and you paid him like $1,000 to do that.
No, it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much because it's just a small fence. So he builds this thing. This is day of.
Oh, he comes over.
And my shit was fine. So that was fine.
He needed to take care of his family, but yet Dan called.
Pigs were fine. Everything was fine. Everything was fine, but one exception.
What's that?
We have a chicken coop, which is a wooden structure, very heavy, and it was connected to a 12x6 run, which is made of hardware cloth. You know what that is? It's kind of like
I know exactly what it is. Yeah.
Hardware cloth with a tin roof, permanent tin roof. So, and it's staked to the ground. Bear in mind. That fucker flew 100 fucking feet.
It acted like an umbrella, essentially.
It was basically like an umbrella. And en route to where it was going, it slammed into the wife's car. So
I should tell the audience this is Dan's Tesla. So it slammed into the hood of Dan's wife's Tesla and scratched it up a bit.
Well, it dented it, but it's not a big deal in the grand scheme here.
You got a picture of the Tesla? I want to see. I've never seen this before.
I got the video. Hold on.
You got the video.
I got the video. Not of it actually.
Oh, the
being
video that you
thrown.
sent to the insurance company, probably.
No, I just made this. Here we go.
So
All right,
Dan.
so here we go.
All right.
That was the chicken run.
Yeah,
See
wow,
it?
it's way the
Destroyed,
fuck over there.
and
It's
it's
all
way over
fucked up.
there. And en route to that point, it nailed the car.
Oh boy.
Now,
Yeah. That's a
but
bummer.
all it hit was the hood, just the hood.
You're lucky it didn't crack the windshield.
Yeah. So the chicken run's destroyed, which is no big deal. The chickens were in
And
the coop.
how are the chickens?
Chickens are fine. The coop had been knocked on its side. Coop's a very heavy structure. Had been knocked.
So they're inside. All the chickens are inside the chicken coop. It goes to the side, and they're like, "Bark, bark, bark, bark," but they all live.
It was scared. They all lived. They're all fine. Because it was
Okay.
overnight. It was all fine. We got in the morning. We let them out. Now we got a problem because you can't let chickens just out in free range because they're going to get picked off by hawks or by a fox or by a raccoon or something.
So you got to have like a chicken wrangler that like you're.
We
out there.
hustled to Rural King, and we.
I love this. I know this part of the story. So Dan went to Rural King, which I knew without even asking. This is a place like Farmers Implements. There's all kinds of stores like this all over the nation with different names, but they're definitely like ranch stores where like
it's for farm
real men go, like ranchers and people, quite frankly, not like Dan, usually step in.
Fair. Yeah.
And so, but Dan is turning into one of these guys clearly because
I bought a 10 by 10 chain link run with a door. One of the panels has a door. The wife and I stuck it in the trailer.
I bet that felt good. You know what? It probably felt good for you to walk up to a customer and like, "Hello, sir." He probably gave you the up and down. I'm like, "Hey, sir, what can I? Yeah, I need me a trail run. I need some 4x4 panels for my trail run." And the guy's like, "All right, we got you covered, Mr.
Yeah,
Richmond."
I got my thing in the trailer, loaded it up in the trailer, brought it home. Wow. The wife and I put it together.
Extremely manly.
And we got the chicken. So everyone's good. All the animals are fine. The only real bad thing was the chicken thing. Now, it was scary around here though, man.
All right, you know what? You got to talk about this part of the story. So Dan, the night of, they're living in a fifth wheel trailer. I talked with Roel about this. We're fascinated. So Dan and his wife are living in a fifth wheel trailer, which is well secured. Everything's cool with it. But it is scary, as we know, when a fucking tornado hits or a hurricane hits and stuff. And Dan's got pigs and dogs. It's a hassle with everything. So tell the people how you decided that the night of that you were going to scurry away and spend the night in a motel while your wife stayed in the fifth wheel trailer by herself.
No. So here's the way it went down. I booked this non-refundable hotel room early in the week because I'm superstitious, and I'm like, well, if I go ahead and do this storm won't come here, right?
Oh, okay. You left that part. Okay, all right.
So I booked this hotel room early in the week, and I'm like,
I get that.
And then the night before, we thought, because remember. Yeah, we thought, see the yellow line?
Yeah,
we thought the yellow line would go straight, which means we would get some impact, but nothing insane.
It's gonna nick us on the way on the top, and that's it.
So I said to her, I said, look, it's probably not going to be that bad, but I really hate night storms. I just don't like them. And especially in a fifth wheel. So I said, I'm going to go ahead.
By the way, I'm teasing you, but it's completely valid.
I'm going to go because I paid for this. I might as well use it.
And it shakes your nerves.
Why don't you come along? I don't want to go. It's going to be fine. I don't care.
Right.
Why don't you go and you take one of the dogs and I'll stay back with the other dogs?
Right.
I said, okay, if that's what you want. In retrospect, I should have forced her to come.
I'm teasing you because it's a little funny, but I get it.
This was traumatic. So I get to the hotel. I'm in the hotel, and the hotel is new. You don't even know there's a storm happening, right?
Right.
So
just big, thick motel.
I'm just sitting there stressing about what it's going to happen. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to go to sleep." So at 9:30, I go to sleep.
Yeah.
The phone rings at 11:30.
Oh my god! And it's howling outside.
The wife is frantic.
She gets on the phone. Dan. What's going on, honey?
I could hear the sound of the fifth wheel swaying, moving. And I said,
what's going on?
She's frantic. The chicken run is gone. It's destroyed. I'm worried about the pigs. But I can't go out there because it's really, really bad.
Oh my God.
She's freaking out and I'm freaking out.
Now you're freaking out.
I said, look, it is pitch black. There's nothing we can do right now. I need to get you over here so at least you get a good night's sleep, because the power was out at home. It was on at the hotel still.
No street lights are on. Everything's fucked outside.
I'm going to get you over here. So we hang up. I get in the car and I drive.
Take me back. What's it like from the short walk when you leave the hotel, the front hotel, to your parked car? Are you in the weather? Do you experience the outside?
I had to walk, 100 yards.
But what was going through your head? Because that sounds scary. Like if you walk outside the hotel, you're like, oh shit, I got to drive in this. It's probably like really whipping around.
It was a little scary. So I got in the truck. I drove down. So hold on, Teddy, shut up. The dog is freaking out because Kara's outside. Anyway, wow. That's insane. So anyway,
good damn.
So I get in the truck. I get on. This is
11:30 at night. Dan now has
4-lane state road, right? Big.
Oh my god!
And I drive. It's only 4 miles away. I drive to where our street is, and it is fully blocked shut because there's a power line down. Do you see
the power line? Like
I can't see anything but a lot of emergency vehicles, right?
Yeah, there's like cones and stuff on the street.
So I'm like, what? God? So I sit there and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to take the back way. I go the back way. Power line down there too. So I go back to the main road and I get out and I ask the police guy, I go, hey man, I live right around the corner. I really want to get to my wife. What's going on? He goes, nah, we'll be done here in 10, 15 minutes. We'll be power line.
And you must be thinking, you'll be done in 10, 15 minutes?
I got to say, man, the state and the local people here did amazing. Like just fucking incredible. So
nice.
Within 20 minutes, it was clear. I get home, I get her in the car. I get the 2 dogs in the car.
She must have been grateful to see you. Like, oh my God, you made it.
We go back to the hotel, and the look on her face of relief to be in a place that was not fucking moving.
Yeah.
And so I don't think she slept much, but I slept. And then the dogs slept because she had 2 dogs with her, and they were freaking out.
Yeah.
So
everybody's exhausted.
It was like, I don't want to sound like a wimp, and I've been through many hurricanes in my life, but this was traumatic. So,
no, you don't sound like a wimp. I mean, everybody knows. And see, that's what I wanted to. I know I apologize for making fun of Dan, that part of the story, but this is valid, man. When that, even when I'm in the monkey hut and the wind is blowing at 30 miles an hour, there's a very mental thing that goes to when stuff is like shaking and vibrating around you. It rattles you to the core, and you're like, you don't feel safe. Like you feel safer in the car when the car might be swaying, but you feel pretty good in there because at least it's solid.
I mean, I've never lived in an RV, but there is something. I went through the one hurricane in it. It was during the day.
Yeah,
and there was just something really unsettling about it, and I knew
because it's not like a stick and brick and mortar like house. It's like it's
at night. It's pitch black out, and
there are sounds and banging around, and it doesn't feel right, and you don't feel safe. And even though logically it's just a noise. Like when I'm in the monkey hut and the wind is blowing and the tarp is making, I'm like, that's what it does. It doesn't matter. I feel very uneasy. And you can't get anything done because you're just lying there like, is this whole fucking thing going to fly off? That's in the back of your head. That's what you're thinking. This thing is going to fucking anti-M on me.
You start, and it's funny because Kara, when we're on the phone, she's like, I bet all the people who live near us in the mobile homes I bet those homes are gone. I bet the pig's roof came out. Her brain's going.
Yeah. Your brain starts to go places.
And I'm like, no, I mean, all of that, it's probably fine. And it turned out look, there were trees down everywhere and power lines down everywhere, but all those structures survived. Our barn was fine. I mean, the chicken coop was fine. It was just knocked on its side. And so anyway, I get to the hotel, we go to sleep. In the morning, we come back and then we do all that stuff. But I tell you, man, I'm 51. I've been through these a bunch. I really didn't think that anything hurricane related could fuck with my head too much.
But it did.
It really did. And all week, I was just sort of in a weird headspace because, like, I mean, not to sound corny, but when someone you really care about is so shaken, and she was freaking out like I've never heard her freak out.
Yeah, and you were like, this is serious, You're like, fuck.
It was bad, and like it affected my week, like in a lot of ways, like my work. I had a project with my job kind of go sideways because my head really wasn't in it.
Right.
And
Well, how could they expect you to have your head in the game with work when you're like, yeah, I'm in a, of course they don't care. They're your job. They're like,
Well,
yeah,
I
get
don't
it
think I
together.
think they would have been fine with it if I had said that, but I'm just so not that guy normally. Like, I'm just not that guy. I'm not that guy who like, oh, where was a storm and I'm just not that. I've never in my life had that be an issue for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Where I like kind of can't. I mean, in every major event in my life, I went through a divorce. I've been through a lot of shit, and I've always been able to kind of separate it. And work is work, and I still do my
Yeah.
job. And but this week,
I mean, you're a pretty tough guy. I mean, I know you like to make fun. We'd like to make fun of each other and stuff, but I think you're pretty tough and
I'm not a
resilient.
tough guy at all. I'm not a tough guy at all. But I feel like when it comes to this stuff, I'm not the type where it derails my ability to do unrelated things like work stuff. But it really did.
Well, I'm glad that you came out of it okay, and I got the report. I think I was at Wasteland when I got the report, and I'm like, Dan, how you doing? He's like, oh, I'm fine, but it was like, he told me the story about the hotel and all that. I'm just glad nothing happened to the pigs, because if something happened to the pigs, you would be in a tizzy.
Well,
like
the
big
funny part of that is everyone asked me that. Like, what about pigs? What about pigs? Well, the pigs have a permanent structure. They have a barn on a slab. Like,
yeah,
it would have
in
to
fact,
be.
if I'm you, I'm crawling in the structure with the pigs, who probably had a nice
If the
nothing
shit
was
hit the
rattling
fan,
around.
that would be the safest place. That's absolutely
Yeah.
Yeah. Until the house is built, that would be the safest place. So
Well,
we
I'm
have
glad you're
about
okay.
we have probably 3 weeks to go before like we're kind of out of it and I don't have to worry about it. We have a storm coming on Wednesday that
Right.
so far looks to be ticking a little south. So I don't think it'll be as bad, but
Dan's got another one coming right now. And like Dan said, it's super rare to have these super powerful storms follow the same path. And it's just, of course, caused a lot of problems. And then I told Dan, well, we're having, and that's, record breaking shit that's happening weather related in the Florida area. And I'm like, well, guess what? Out here, we're now in October. We're still, yesterday was October 4th, I think. No, yesterday was October 5th.
mm-hmm.
And here in Mesa, it was 113 degrees in the shade. And, and so I checking out the weather here. It's not going to get out of the triple digits until October 15th. That is unheard of. It's never happened before. We've had also a record breaking length of temperatures all above 110, like an unbroken chain of just like 90 days, I think more than that, where every single temperature every day was more than 110. And they joke like, oh, it's dry heat, blah blah blah. And I'm here to say that, like,
No.
you know what? Anything above, and
if you're at 90, then absolutely dry heat's fine. Whereas humid is terrible. But at 110, it's terrible.
Well, I'm even a guy that's like, I'm cool with, like, you know what? Honestly, I like it when it's 102 degrees. I'm 100, like, I like it to be 102 degrees. It feels good to me, But you get up to anything past 105, 106, start feeling fucking miserable. And then there's another step. When you start getting in the teens, like 114, like that shit, that's a new level of hell that's just unbelievable. So I sent you some strange photos real quick. I texted you some photos. I don't know how easy tech it is wise for you to get them up there. But I was at Wasteland Weekend. I did not take a lot of photos.
I didn't get anything. All I got in text was one of
them was a 3-second video.
This one. This is all I got.
Really? I just sent you some shit.
Nothing.
Just deliver it. I texted you, Dan.
I'm gonna quickly empty my bladder. I'll be right back. You talk to the audience.
All right, so Dan is now going to pee. So here I am at Wasteland Weekend with my friend Kara. Kara is this woman that's sitting to the right of me, and she is a big deal in the Wasteland community. Like, it's like she just like runs the show. And so I volunteered for this Wasteland Weekend. So you can volunteer to work to write up to get paid back the price of your ticket. And so they have you labor for a couple of days, and there's lots of different jobs you could do at the Wasteland. There's tons of different titles. They have different jobs for different people's skill sets and all this. So I joined this job, and she's really nice, by the way. She's a good friend of mine. Her and her husband, Ted. They're also big supporters of my artwork. Wow, that was a quick pee. It takes me longer to do that, bro. That's a quick pee. It takes me much longer to pee. I'm there
Yeah, it was
shaking.
quick.
I'm there shaking because I'm old or whatever.
So
Try refreshing your phone. Are you sure you didn't? I just texted
I'm
you some fucking
100%. I'm 100%. All I have is
fuck.
the picture I put up there.
It says delivered.
Just the picture.
Let me see if I can. I'll try to. Oh, you know what? Oh, that's because it was Messenger. Hold on, buddy. Oh shit. Yeah, I sent it Facebook Messenger, so that's probably why it didn't.
Oh,
get
let
to
me
you.
see. Let me look there.
Yeah, I sent it Facebook Messenger. I apologize. Yeah, I sent shit to you on Facebook Messenger. There's like a.
We're acting like boomers.
I know, like confused about.
Here we go. Here we go.
There you
Here we
go.
go. Okay.
So that's funny. So there's a 3-second video. The first one is a 3-second video.
Are you behind?
Yeah,
You-
and the music is
God.
not the music that was playing, by the way.
Wow. All right, hold on. Let me
But
see.
that is, I don't know if you can put that up. The music is not the music that was playing. The music that was playing was like raging techno, right? I don't know.
Wow.
I found that video. So they had me do this thing where you can dress up in your crazy outfit, and they have like cage dancers, where they put you in a cage. In this state, you could tell it's like, and then the next photo is a better photo of it. It's like a horse trailer with a cage in it, and they stick you in there like a freak on a leash, and they have you dance for like an hour.
No, so here we go.
Yeah, that's your boy. And so there I am, and that's a better shot of it. That's the main, and it's like a bar. And okay, so can you find me in that photo, the blue photo? Which one am I? Pretty easy.
You're right in the middle there.
No.
Oh, you're on the far right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you stand, and there I am waking up the line. So people.
That's you with the drum.
Yeah. So what it is like people wait in line from midnight, and they open the gate at 7 a.m. So people wait in line, and it's miles long in the dirt. And the owner of the whole Wasteland Weekend says, I need you to go wake up the line, because if the line opens at 7, I want them awake and alert and not, because they're all drinking in line while they're parked out there. So he wants me to just wake them up. I get the big drum. I just find a car that's like these guys. I'm like, get me up there. And that's my cosplay from Mad Max 2. And so the drum, and I'm there beating it. It makes a hell of a racket. And there's like 8 cars behind me. They're just, revving and stuff. And everyone's like, wake up, wake up. And the look of horror on people's faces. This is 6:30 in the morning, this photo.
Hold on.
6:30 in the morning. Dan must be having to deal with his dogs.
Wow.
So I know you would like that. So that's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So they had, like I said earlier in the show, like, and this is, I'm dancing in the cage. You can see me over there. I'm on the left. and so. Yeah. So here's the deal. There's a big cod piece on my crotch.
Okay. All right.
Like a big, like spiked cod piece that I made. So, but let me tell you a little story associated with the cage dancing. So the cage dancing is fun. They're playing like techno, boom, 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 right? And I'm going nuts. Now this is late at night, and I'm doing that. And there's a dancer on another cage on the right. It's like some young chick, not a 56-year-old man. Dan, to tell you the amount of attention that I got working in that cage, people were putting money in the fucking slots there, So at one point and people are just drunk. They're walking by like, check out the dancer. And they're like, I'm just like, and I go like this and stuff. And I dance for them. I shake my ass for them and stuff. And it's in my head the whole time. I'm thinking, I'm a 56-year-old man. Like where else in God's green earth is this happening for me? Like this makes no fucking sense. Right. And I'm not lost on the whole madness of the whole thing, but it's so great. It's a beautiful thing, right? So then, Dan, I know this is where you come in. So the woman that's running the fucking cages comes over and she goes, hey, do you mind if you have some company in there? And I don't know who she's talking about, but of course I say, yeah, go ahead, bring him in. It could be anyone, Dan.
Sure.
So up comes these 3 people, and it's clear that it's a throuple. Okay. It's a throuple. It's a tall, skinny, lanky dude wearing, eyeshadow that kind of looks like a very young, lanky Marilyn Manson. And he looks like he's in his early 20s. And two, drop dead gorgeous. They must have been 25. I mean, really, just the type of, perfect body that you would think stereotypical of a 23-year-old like that. By the way, and all three of them were just super like on each other, right? It was clearly like some sort of thing going on. And they're all really good looking people, like, and I'm this gross 56-year-old in there, but they don't know that. Right? I got this I got this gas mask on and my torso's in good shape and I'm dancing, getting all the attention. So I'm the big show. They want to get in there with me. I'm like, all right, I'll let you in my cage. So one of the girls got in the cage. And instantly, the minute that she gets in the cage, I know, okay, this is a professional. She starts getting in there and doing things with her legs and her back and everything that I'm like, this girl does this professionally. I know within 2 seconds that this chick that they have in the cage with me right now is a professional, probably stripper, titty bar, one of these types of, dancers, right? Like she's got the moves, right? And so the cage isn't that big. So now I'm at the front of the cage with her, and her boyfriend and girlfriend are right on the other side of the cage, like interacting with them. There's an open slot about 5 inches where you can like touch and grab the people like this. Oh, God. So Dan, I'm standing right there and I'm like, now she's sort of interacting with me, like caressing my mask and doing all this and grabbing the hose and doing things like this with the hose. And I'm getting down on my knees. I'm right in front of her crotch. We're having a lot of fun. Right. And it's all just play acting and stuff, but I'm inside that mask going, I can't believe that I'm fucking doing this. Like, this is nuts, right? And so she's up there. And then she goes through the little slot in the cage and starts, for real, deep French kissing her girlfriend, so these two absolutely beautiful mid-25-year-old chicks are 5 inches away from my face, just making out. For real, hardcore. And the dude is behind the one girl, just feeling up her boobs like this, right? The dude's doing this to the one boob. And I'm in the cage with the one girl, and I got my hand on the small of her back. And that was risky. I'm like, is this consensual, whatever? And I had to just, or I had to just kind of ask her. Oh yeah, I'm like, I just would say, is this okay? Is this okay? And, she's like, yeah. And then she grabbed her hand and like put it on her abdomen, And I'm like, oh, this is
this consensual?
I was like, is this consensual? I don't want to be Andrew W. So it's like, this is nuts. So that went on for a while, and everyone's taking pictures, and it was this wild scene. And then they left, and she gave me like a peck on the cheek, whatever, and they both left, and I said goodbye. And I was just like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, truth be told, I'm kind of a vanilla, fucking 56-year-old guy in a 20-year relationship. That kind of shit is not a normal thing, Dan. But I was thinking about you. I'm like, I know Dan. Dan's a lot.
There's the podcast title. Is this consensual?
Yeah, is this consensual with a question mark? Meanwhile, on that little GIMP outfit that I have, since you can't hear me, it has a little tag on it with writing on it. And the writing says, "Hi, I'm the Wasteland GIMP. I can't see you." It says, "I can barely see you. I can't hear you. And you won't be able to hear me. I'm nonverbal." It says, "Ask consent before you touch me. I will ask consent before I touch you." And people love it. They're like, oh, and I have another story to tell you real quick. Remember what you thought was a super cringy he/him story that I told you, where I went to the screen printing shop and I asked the
yeah, the first thing you asked is pronouns?
Yeah. So I thought of you again at Wasteland. Dan, I thought of you a couple times at Wasteland. So one time at Wasteland weekend, I am doing the bartering things where you lay down in this like sort of common area with a towel and your things that you barter, like trinkets and different things, and you barter. It's a fun thing to do. You can't exchange money, but you could say, oh, I want that pair of combat boots for this sword, things like that. And It's just fun activity to be. So I'm lying there and it's in the middle of the day and I got like this dirty sheet down on the ground. I'm lying there like a homeless person wearing next to nothing. And I've got all these trinkets down that I found in abandoned houses and shit. And some guy comes up, like kind of like a 35-year-old black guy, clearly like a dude, right? And he sits down with me and he's like, "Oh, I see. Do you mind if I look at your wares?" And I'm like, "Yeah, please look at my wares." And he goes, "What are your pronouns?" And I go, "He, him, my friend." And thank you very much. And
You know what I would have said?
instantly, I thought, "Why? You would have said something horrible."
I would have said it.
Yeah, of course. You know how fucking offensive that is to people when you
What
say
if
that.
I
Just
want to
by
be
the way.
it? Why can't I
Okay,
be it?
try it out in real world and see how well
What
it
if
goes.
I
for you.
want to be it? It is a pronoun.
Dan, just try it out in the real world and get back to me on how that works.
I will absolutely try it out. I want to be
that'd
it.
Great. Yep. If you run into a Trumper, they'll love it. If you run into a real person who is going to take offense at that, I'm just telling you how the world works. You don't have to agree with it. But anyway, this person.
Do you agree though that it is a pronoun?
It is, and it's something that is valid. You could call yourself, but it comes with. I don't want to get into it, but there's a lot of connotation. It's offensive.
Why?
Because a lot of people go to it when it is I can't fully, I don't have that fully.
Yeah, but I would be saying I want to be called it, so it's not offensive.
That would explain it. I mean, that would be fine. But if you, in other words, if you call a person it right off the bat, because you
I would never do that. I would never do that. I'm talking about myself. You asked. Okay. I said what I said. What mine would be. If somebody asked
that would be
me mine,
that would be okay. But I mean, I'm just telling
it.
you. I'm just telling you that when people call a trans person it,
I would never call another human being, whether they're whether they, no matter what they are, it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I want to be called it.
Then that's fine. But there might be a bit of a skip of a person being like, "Are you sure?" And you'd be like, "Okay, yeah." I'm like, "Well, that's fine."
I'm sure it.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, I thought about you when someone asked me what my pronouns were, and I was very happy to say he, him. And I thought instantly about Dan. I'm going to tell Dan the story just because it'll upset him, because Dan lives in the 1950s. But
how about 1980s? How about, can we at least go there?
Okay, we can go to the 80s, where your favorite music is from. By the way, they had an 80s band there playing as well. So they were playing like, Shotgun to My Heart and all this stuff. And I'm like, Dan would really like this, And so they had some things. And the later the night goes, the weirder it gets. Like that photo you saw me dancing in the thing, that probably like at midnight. I'm telling you, the shit that goes on at 3:30 in the morning, it gets really out of hand. And a lot of it's alcohol fueled, Of
course.
And I'm not drinking, but I'm enjoying how like you like to people watch, but you also like to mix it up with the people as well. Like try your comedy. Like I do the same fucking thing. I admit,
sure.
I'm mixing it up. I'm trying new material. I'm fucking, and it was a lot of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. But
I'm very happy for you, man. I really, I love these stories, and I love the idea that you get away and you get to, do what you want to do for a week.
And it's so letting your freak flag fly. Like it's a place where like, okay. And another thing I do is like, I have to bathe once in a while, right? Because it's dirty and I don't have a lot of water. So you wind up taking, so it's called like a bird bath. Back in the day, we used to, the un-PC term is called a horse bath, tits, pits, and clits, right? Ooh. And so, yeah, you never heard that?
No.
Horse bath, tits, pits, and clits. So you get like a tub of water and a washcloth, and you just kind of like bird bath it the best you can, and with focus on the stinky areas, right?
Right.
And so you can do that, and it does. I've become good at it. A lot of people are fans of the baby wipes. I don't like they're not, they don't get the job done.
Not the same, no.
But with a couple gallons of water, I can stand there. And so basically you stand on an outside mat, and like you get
so you get nude.
So I get nude out in broad daylight. I'm out in broad daylight. And by the way,
nobody's looking for that, man.
Brother, they're definitely not. But guess what? It's an open nudity type event. And and I had myself thinking in my head, like, okay, there's so many titties out here. Yeah. There's so many women walking around with their boobs.
It's very different though. Nobody.
It's different.
Everybody wants to see a 25-year-old girl's boobs. Absolutely nobody wants to see a 50-year-old guy.
We were represented. And it's not like I was parading down Main Street or anything. I was in my private little camp, but I was like, there's people camped around me. And I'm like, Bruce,
you got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, I got to do what I got to do, and I'm not looking for anyone to look at me.
Well, that's the whole point of this. Is it's supposed to be post-apocalyptic. All those little rules go out the window.
So, they were out the window, and there are a lot of people walking around with no clothes on and just doing some crazy shit. And I'm like, I'm bathing myself, and I'm fucking gonna be full naked, and I really don't care.
Yeah.
In fact, that one where I'm dancing in that cage, right? Now, I'm a 56-year-old man, I'm dancing in the cage, and they're like, you're in here for a 1.5 hour, possibly 2 hour shift. Now, I know energy-wise I can do that, but 56-year-old bladder, I'm thinking, what happens if I have to pee? I'm in this cage, I gotta pee, right? And so I started asking around, hey, what am I gonna do when I have to pee? And so I came up with an idea. I'm like, I'm gonna get like a bottle, I'm gonna get like an old gallon, water
Catheter? How about a
container.
catheter?
And that's not a bad idea. That would hurt. So, but I found like a bottle. Like, I'm like, hey, can I just pee in here? Is like that going to be? So that particular tribe is called Road Rash. The tribe that holds that's the bar. They are of such debauchery. You go. I'm going to talk about Road Rash. So you go into that bar where we're cage dancing on. It's a very debauchery type of bar. There are like 3 dudes sitting in there in front of a mountain of whippet shells. Just, what's up, dude? And they are just fucked up.
Oh, wow.
People are just, and then it gets real fucked up. And so I'm like, hey, what happens if I have to piss in there? And one guy said to me, dead honest, fucking for real, he goes, just piss in the corner like the animal that you are, right? And I'm like,
Wow.
and without missing a beat, and I was like, done.
Right.
So I'm in there dancing, and it's a horse trailer, and it's messy. Now, it doesn't smell like horse shit or anything like that. It's been retrofitted. But sure enough, I'm in there dancing, and I got to take a leak, and I'm just like in full view of people, and I'm like, I'm taking a leak in here like I'm a fucking circus animal. And if people,
Love it.
So I did. I just sort of went to the corner. I didn't stand full frontal. I sort of turned my back, but people could tell I was peeing in there. I just peed right on the floor. I don't care. Just peed right on the floor.
Do you find it hard to reintroduce yourself into normal society now?
Oh, it's hard. It's a true thing that a lot of wastelanders talk about. So then you get back to the hotel and you shower, and people make videos of what their shower water looks like while they're showering, and it's gross, and it's so then a lot of people, most people, they got to go back to their office job, straight up office job, and people are like, I still feel kind of feral, like I'm out there. And one thing you wouldn't have liked, since you're a vegetarian, is I don't think I have this photo, but there's they had like a barbecue type tribe where they cook a barbecue for everybody, and out on the table is a cow's head, and I'm talking like an actual cow's head with its mouth wide open.
I mean, it's supposed to be post-apocalyptic in that situation.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be shocking, and I get it. I mean, look, I do eat meat, but that's gross, right? Yeah. And so you walk up, and the guy's like, do you want mac and cheese? Do you want hot dogs? And they, you can get what you want. The guy goes, then, do you want any head? You want some head? Do you want some head? And I go, no, I don't want any head. But the people that do want head, he cuts a little off the, and you can see the teeth, this fucking thing. And it's like, ooh, gross, bro. But it is very post-apocalyptic. And it is hard to be a normal person and get back into society after living, peeing in the corner and having people stage dance. And I'm walking around wearing a gas mask all the time. And,
I would think like you get used to a week of just no rules, whatever the fuck.
No rule. I mean, no. I mean, there's human rules of consent and everything else like that. But as far as acting weird, there is no too weird. You know what I mean? There's no too weird.
One of these years, man. One of these years, I will come purely to people watch.
I think I would have fun. I did honestly.
I'd have to find an outfit though. What would I dress as?
Dan, I would take care of that. I would take care of that whole thing, bro. I would make you
Star Trek uniform would not be.
No. I'd make you a couple really good outfits. The way to do it is one basic one for the day when it's hot, and then one for the night when it gets a little colder, but that looks a little more well done. Because you can get into oh, I love your shoulder pads. You could be like, yeah, I mean, there's what's up, and then you would be mixing it up with some of these hotties that you like to look at, and you would be firsthand, and they would be like, oh, hi, Dan, and you'd be like, oh my god, this is fucking great.
You want to come back to the RV? I got a generator. I got some AC.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
There
pretty
was
cool.
one year where one guy got in trouble. I'll tell you this quick story. One year, one guy got in trouble for setting up a shower. And he's like saying, hey, you can come get a shower, but I'm going to watch you, you know. And some dude like sat in a fucking lawn chair. And ironically enough, the only people that he invited into the shower were like hot chicks. And so it was like, I think he sat.
Why do you get in trouble for that?
So he's inviting a hot chicks to just shower, but he's sitting in a lawn chair, clearly just like very creepily eyeing them up. But and technically, there's nothing wrong with that. But
I mean, wait. I'm not saying that's not creepy. It is creepy, but
yeah,
this is a place where tons of creepy shit goes on. Why is that bad?
it's not. That's where you're wrong. It's not a place where tons of creepy shit goes on. It's a place where a lot of wild shit, creepy shit, gets shut down immediately.
What I would probably do is offer the shower to anybody, but just not shut if it's, you know, some dude or whatever, you know.
Yeah, and so now I think now a guy did it where he actually got the vending license from California to be able to sell showers for $5, but it was private. This was early on when it was clearly some fucking creeper dude,
Yeah,
who was just like, "Hey, you hot in your shower?" I mean,
shit.
shit, I kind of did it one year, like ages ago. Like I had my 50-gallon barrel of water in the back of the truck, and a friend of mine, just a plutonic friend of mine who happens to be a very good-looking woman, is like, I mean, look, she's got a boyfriend, I've got my girlfriend, whatever. But she was like, hey, I noticed you got that big shower up there. And I'm like, yeah, do you want to take a shower? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'll do it if you let me join in there with you. And it was a little creepy on my part. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah.
And I was like soaping up her leg and stuff like this. And that's as far as it went there.
Did you
but
ask if it was consensual though? May I soap your leg?
I think this is 8 years ago, so I don't think that was in the vernacular, but I did, but we were friendly. Let's put it that way.
Nice. I like it.
It was
great.
great.
So the next time we have an event to discuss will be my event going to Iron Maiden up in New York City.
I can't wait to so Dan's going to go to Iron Maiden and some luxury booth. That's going to be fun. When is it again?
It's November 2nd, which is a Saturday. It's a month from yesterday.
It's coming up. It's right before the election. You're going to go do that. I'm going back to East Jesus on I'm going to go to East Jesus on November 1st to November 21st. So I'm going back out to live in the desert for, 3 weeks.
But it won't be miserable like it was before.
No. The temperatures will be much nicer, and quite frankly, it's the season out there, which means like the temperatures will be really nice. And it's the tourist season. There'll be a lot of people at East Jesus. They have events. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're traveling around the same time. I'm leaving the 1st, and I'm only gone 2 days, but
I'll be going 3 weeks, but I'll be able to do some podcasts from East Jesus.
Yeah, we'll do a recap of the show of Maiden.
So listen, another thing I want to talk to you about. So when I was gone, I know Dan did some podcasts with a replacement Goy. And one of them did really well with the views and hit a nerve because Dan did it about, Dan had this topic about Howard Stern and in particularly how he's jumped the shark and it's probably intentional. And Dan's got this like very well-formed and very well-educated fan theory with him and Christina, who's been on the show before, about it. And so then Dan tells me like, hey, we missed you on the podcast, but guess what? I did one with your replacement, Christina. It's got 3,000 views. And I'm thinking, great. The most views we've ever gotten is fucking 80. It looks like my replacement Goy and the replacement, topic is doing much better.
I don't really know what so I'm assuming it got shared somewhere, right?
Someone in the Howard Stern universe shared it.
Interestingly on it, which
is good. I'm happy and I'm proud, but I'm a little jealous.
Has been overwhelmingly positive. We have a couple of people like, what do you care? He doesn't owe you anything, that kind of thing.
Still loyalists out there, right?
That's fine, right? That's fine. That's everyone's got an opinion, right? But Christina and I both were very surprised at how positive it was. I think a lot of it really is a fascinating topic, even if you're not a Stern person, even if you don't care about Howard Stern.
Right.
Notion of something, a cultural thing, like whether it be music or a television show or whatever, being so immensely popular and immensely with a cult fan base, like a rabid fan base,
Right.
within the span of a decade, changing to so much that not only are your fans not interested anymore, by and large, the very people who got you where you were hate you now. Hate you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't, like I told you, I just don't think there's anything like that out there. I can't think of anything
It's
like
strange to
that.
have something where, you know, the very
Like,
people that you worked with, like,
you have
hate you
bands
now.
like take Rush. Rush is a popular band, right? If
Yeah.
you take Rush's 2112, that is or Hemispheres, right? That is
Yeah.
a extremely different style of music than they did in the 80s with Power Windows, or which became more synth heavy.
Yeah, yeah.
And what happened with Rush is a lot of, like, they had some shuffling of fans where some of their hardcore people kind of, I'm not as interested anymore, but they never hated them. It's not like, well, I hate them now. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This, like, it is just crazy what's happened. And, you know, we laid it out very clearly in the video, like what we think went down and what our theory is on how it happened. And it's
Well,
not.
I'm glad that it did well and that you touched on a nerve. And it makes me think, like, I mean, me and you do this podcast with the idea that it's just like a diary for me and you, and we don't give a shit, you know, subscribe or not, right? Like, it's just kind of like, that's not why we do it. But in the same breath, I was thinking, like, boy, it'd be nice if, like, we can get more, you know, listeners and viewers and stuff like that. And just let me ask you point blank, like, do you think that we should talk about different things and other things that would make, rather than just, you know, hurricanes and Wasteland Weekend and stuff that goes on in our lives? Like,
I think
something.
it has to be something that you're passionate about, right?
Yeah.
And the minute you try and cater to something, you risk audience capture and things like that. I really believe in sticking to what you're passionate about.
You know what? And I agree, because that's how I make my art. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how art should be. Art. This is art. Hey, what about those what about those questions you were going to ask me?
Oh yeah. Okay. So we're going to hold on. We're going to give Bruce the quiz that I gave the 23-year-old girl, and I told her that all of these questions are so simple that somebody my age, our age,
I mean, I'm gonna know them all, but let's go.
You should know them all.
Yeah.
It should be like ridiculously easy, right?
Ridiculously easy. Give me one.
Here we go. Name 2 Beatles' first and last names.
All right, John Lennon, Ringo Starr.
Okay. Name 3 Brady Bunch kids.
Marcia, Greg, and Peter.
Okay. 1 Led Zeppelin song.
Houses of the Holy.
What is a DeLorean?
It's a car featured in Back to the Future.
Name 1 90s era supermodel.
Cindy Crawford.
What is Willie Nelson famous for?
He's famous for being a country singer who smokes weed.
Well, who is Monica Lewinsky?
Blue Clinton.
O.J. Simpson is known for what 2 things?
Football and killing a white lady.
Kermit the Frog is famous for dating who?
Miss Piggy.
Name 1 movie Sylvester Stallone was in.
Rocky.
Yeah, say it was easy. I was right. I told her. I said.
So she is how old? Is 25?
23.
And she's gonna write 10 questions for us.
Yeah. So this is a future segment. I told her. In fact, I'm going to text her right now.
Oh, I can't wait. Tell her to give us 1 question. And here's what she's gonna do. So this was a game show. This was a game show. I paid her. I said, look, right.
If you can get 5 of the 10, you win. Right?
What? How much did you pay her? What did she win?
$100.
$100?
Yeah, it was a game show.
God,
sure.
Damn.
So I said, look, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the same thing in reverse. You're going to do a quiz. And they have to be questions that anyone your age would immediately know.
Yeah.
And then Bruce and I are going to take the quiz, and we're going to see between us if we get fewer than five, you win, and if we get more than 5, we win. 5 or more.
Interesting to see what she picks. I mean, and if she's smart, she'll do things of different. Like, you got to be popular culture. Some will be tech related. Like, you want to mix it up to the different things that are out there, right?
I suspect. Well, she did pretty Well, I think she got 6, something like that.
You could tell her to make sure.
I
like, look,
suspect you're going to do pretty well on her.
I'll do well. I'll do well. Not real well. And by the way, when I was a little younger, I was way more like when I was 45, I was still very in tune. Like I knew everything. But now I'm 56 and I'll do much worse because there's a lot I don't know. However,
I won't know any of it. I'm sure.
I'll do way better than Dan.
Yeah.
I know that going in. We both know that going in.
I'm fascinated by this shit because we're living in the same world, but it's amazing, like culturally, some of the shit that you get exposed to just based on your.
I mean, one thing that does, I mean, look, that keeps me young are these fakakta things that I do all the time.
Well, yeah, you are unique because while you are old, 56, yes. Right?
Yeah.
While you are an altacocker,
right,
and born in the 60s, right?
68,
you're almost a boomer.
Really, very close.
While you are old, you have like. If there was like a spread of people your age born before 1970 with some sense of modern stuff, you're in the top 1%. You have to be.
Wow.
You have to be.
I would have to be.
I mean, how many people your age even have a TikTok account, let alone spend all day on it?
And have quite I mean, it's a big TikTok account. It's got a lot of fun.
I think so I think you are uniquely positioned, whereas I and probably we're dead average. If whatever question she puts together, I might know 1 or 2. Right.
My TikTok account has 71K likes, and I've got 9,000 followers.
Look at you. Yeah.
And one of my videos has 628,000 views.
Yeah, man. I love it. But I'm just saying, like, how many people over the age of 40, let alone 50.
Can you text her and give us a question right now?
She's probably working.
Yeah.
And
so she's Gen Z?
Oh, yeah. 23 years old. Born in whatever that would be, 99? Or no, 01. So it's going to be fun. So she's going to put that together and give us that quiz. That's a future segment.
Yeah.
And we have the Iron Maiden recap in a month when I go to that. That should be a lot of fun. I got the suite. I got 16 people coming.
Yeah. And some I should tell the audience that some of the people Dan is going to be hobnobbing with are going to be, people in the actual Howard Stern, like there'll be some.
Yeah, I got so Brent will be there from the show.
And Brent Hadley, I know that name.
And I've got Russell Dobular, who is on the Due Dissidence podcast that we advertise with.
Right.
He'll be there. He's a super cool dude. I'm very excited to meet him. And then otherwise, it's pretty much just friends of mine. A variety of friends from all different walks of life.
And one of them's a younger girl, right?
No.
Like a 30-year-old girl?
No, not 30. One of my friends is bringing their kid, and she's like 14.
Oh, that's right.
No young kid. No, there's everyone there is my age other than this kid, I think.
Yeah.
So,
well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, it should be fun. I'm very excited. I don't think I've been to New York in a few years at least. So I always love going to New York, and should be fun.
What other things are you going to do in New York while you're in New York? Like, will you go to like Cat's Deli or like will you?
So I'm trying to put together a get together, like a meetup with some people that I haven't seen in a while. Like college friends of mine, and if we do that, I want to do it at a deli because that one type of food I absolutely cannot get around here is real
Jewish deli,
real deli
bagel.
Yeah. I can get a bagel here, but I can't get chopped liver or a really good piece of corned beef.
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna you said earlier I'm not vegetarian. I just don't eat pork.
Right. So you'll get the corned beef sandwich.
I think I don't do a lot of beef. I would probably get turkey and chopped liver.
Wow. Hey, what is liverwurst? Is that chopped liver?
No, liverwurst is something different. I'm not sure.
You know what it is, right? I ate a lot of that as a kid.
No, chopped liver is chicken livers chopped with like mayonnaise and schmutz and whatever else.
Liverwurst, from what I remember, comes in a tube and you smear it, but it looks like almost like a spreadable bologna, right?
Kind of, but it's not the same as chopped liver. I don't know exactly what it is though.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either.
Chopped liver is a very Jewish thing, and it's the type of thing I can only eat once a year, maybe. But I haven't had it.
I've had a lot of
the
liver.
other thing is I got to get a slice. I got to get chopped liver.
Oh, fuck me. You get a slice,
Slice.
bro. Get a slice at Ray's. Oh my God. Real fucking pizza.
I'm going to go for sure.
What about a piece of cheesecake, bro? Like a fucking good piece of cheesecake.
Yeah.
Not
Cheesecake I can get around here that's pretty good. Like it's not like, that's easier to find outside of New York. But like chopped liver, forget it. And a good pizza for
Oh no, pizza's impossible to find out here.
So I'm very excited. Otherwise, we have hurricane this week. Say a prayer to Jesus or whatever that this one fucking leaves me
thoughts
alone.
and prayers to Dan and his wife and his chickens.
I book
and his
a hotel
dogs.
again, no matter what. I'm doing that every time.
See, that part of the story I didn't realize, and that pleases me, and that makes sense with my OCD. Like if you booked a hotel knowing if I book a hotel, like you're going to flush that $90 down the drain, knowing that if you spend the $90, that means the storm's not going to be that bad because the universe wants you to lose $90. That's how that's going to work.
It is so, and again, I don't want to be poor me because what's going on the coast in North Carolina is a zillion times worse than anything I've had to deal with. But I will say, I only had to get through one season, and to have two hit almost the same spot is just crazy. To have two almost hit the same spot within a 5-year span would be crazy, let alone same year. So it really is.
Shit is fucked up out there. I don't know if it's climate change or straight up apocalyptic, or maybe the Mayans got it wrong. All I know is that shit is hitting the fan.
More storms than there have been in the past. It's more where they're going. It's weird. It's like I'd be the first one to tell you if there was more of them. There's not. I mean, this year hasn't been too bad in terms of number. Like a couple of years ago,
just going intense. Like Arizona's always been hot. Hitting 117 is not unusual around here. It's just more
in October.
Longer,
our temps have been the same, but I think the sea temps are hotter, and that's what
now that you hit something. I watch a lot of these wacky videos, and I know that they're just wacky. I'm not one of these guys that are like, I fucking do my research and watch this wackadoodle on you. I know, but it is true that the ocean temperatures are higher, and that's really fucking things up.
I mean, I'll tell you this, man. I mean, I'm glad I don't have kids. And it's not just
it does not look good. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have kids.
It's not even just put aside the environmental stuff. Put that aside.
Right.
There's so many things that are just so much worse now than they were like when we were kids.
Economically, everything. I just can't even imagine bringing a child into this world like who's really, imagine like right now you have a 1-year-old and you start thinking, okay, this kid's 1, it's 2024. What happens when when this kid is 25 years old? It's going to be 2050. What is this place look like 2050? It's going to be a
flaming ball of shit.
It's going to be post-apocalyptic for real, dude. It's going to be like,
if you just break it down to its most basic thing, right? A child is born.
Oh my God.
If I say, what are the odds? Give me a number. The odds, percent chance that this child, grows up to a relatively normal life with a living wage job where he or she is earning a living wage and
access to food and water,
everything, the whole thing, right?
The basic.
If you take the percentage when we were born, when we came into the world, the percentage was probably 87%.
Let's be honest. 82. We were really, really lucky and won the lottery of when we were born. We actually experienced the tail end of when things were good. We really did. And that's just not the case today.
But that's what I'm saying. Like when we were born, look in hindsight, knowing what we know now, and looking around, knowing everyone we know, what are the odds of a random kid born in 1970 who's going to grow up, have a living wage job, have access to food and water, healthcare?
Really good odds. I fucking 90,
85%.
Yeah, 80, chances 80, are really good. Things are set up to where as long as you just work and stay out of jail, you'll be fine. You'll be part of society.
What are the odds
now?
50-50?
Bro, it's got to be. And they're so fatalistic now. I mean, Ro was telling me about this story. It's true how like young people, like really young people that are like 20, have given up completely on the future. Like they're not saving for the future. They're treating themselves to things right now. Because back when we were younger, we'd be like, oh, I should save a little bit for the future. Like
Right.
now they don't give a fuck because they don't see any way out of it. And I can't fucking blame them. And I got
can't
into a
blame
bit
them.
of an argument with Ro about it. She's like, yeah, that's irresponsible. They should still save for the future and scrimp and save. And I'm like, you know, I disagree. If I'm them, if I'm 20, if I'm fucking 23 and I see how bad things are and I see how bad things are going and I don't see any kind of hope on the horizon, I'm going to be fatalistic about it as well. I'm going to
Oh,
be like, you
100%.
know what? I'm 23. I'm going to have the Starbucks. I'm going to take the vacation to Greece. Do I have the money for it? No. I'm going to put it on the credit card and burn it and rack up debt because you know what? The future looks bleak and I want to have a little fun right now.
It
And
is
I'm
very hard to blame them, and
very hard. No, she
because
absolutely disagrees with me.
you're in a position where, in my opinion, you can't vote your way out of this. Like, there's no
No,
way within the confines of the system we have
no. The
to work
system
within
would
that
be
system.
need to be totally broken down
Right.
and rebuilt from fucking scratch.
Yes.
The whole
Correct.
system from scratch, and it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So
Rephrase. It's not going to happen peacefully. So
yeah.
if
Yeah.
it were to happen, it would be because people get so pissed off, and you have a huge segment of the population that says we are not taking this shit anymore.
What about if a nuclear warhead explodes on American soil? I keep thinking about that. Like, it's pretty outlandish. But if that's something that we saw with our own eyes, like somehow somebody was able to detonate, you know, a Hiroshima-sized bomb anywhere on the mainland, imagine the repercussions. I mean, we all thought 9/11 was bad. Like, wow, that, you know, but something about a nuclear explosion, like watching that on TV, like say it happened in St. Louis or some shit. Me and you were watching TV and like breaking news, and they pan to the large mushroom cloud, and this used to be St. Louis. That would rock people to the core.
Yeah, I hope to God that's not what does it. My hope, realistic best case, would be you get enough people, working class people, fed up and pissed off and not buying the bullshit that they just say, that's it. We ain't showing up. We are until
What do
there's
you think? What do you think about the union thing that just happened, where they got a nice they got a fucking they banded together and they got a massive raise, like fucking.
So,
right?
you know, it's funny you mentioned that because there's been such a weird reversal in unions. Unions, you know, in the 70s were very powerful. And since then, everything has swung the other way, where
Yeah.
unions have no power at all.
But they're kind of coming back. Don't you see that?
To a degree, they are, and I'm for that, right? And
Me too.
I'll have people say to me, well, you know, this seems like a lot of money, and their deals could be automated and blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, look, in a vacuum, I can see your argument. But in the real world, where the story for almost everyone everywhere is they're not making enough money, there's not enough money to be made, there's not enough living wage jobs, there's not enough people earning a living where they can afford to pay their bills, have one vacation a year, like,
Yeah.
you know.
People are
So
just treading water, really. People are just stuck in survival mode.
I almost invariably am going to side with labor because look,
Me too.
The pendulum has swung so far the other way. Like,
Yeah.
you could argue in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s that it was the other way, that unions had way too much power. You could argue that, right?
So now it's kind of taking an
But
overcorrective
now it's
swing,
completely the opposite,
Yeah.
where like labor has no power.
Somebody on Facebook was upset, like, oh, that's ridiculous. They're getting too much money. And I'm like, no, they're not. Good for them. I hope they get more.
No, I agree.
It's more. And by the way, you would hope that other people in different industries and different walks of life see this, get inspired by it, union up, band together, and just on the basic concept
you won't get that, man, because you have a weird
they're scared, rightfully so. Like, I can't do that.
I'm going to credit Russell Dobler, who I'm going to be meeting at the Maiden Show, with this phrase. He coined it. It's called peasant mentality. It's people who, for whatever reason, they want to be treated like a peasant. Like, oh, great political party, great leader, tell me. And like they for whatever reason, they argue against their own self-interest. So you said you would hope that they would see this and band together and unionize. But for whatever reason, so many people have this weird peasant mentality where they just want to lay down.
Well, I
They
call
just-
it, I get that, but I call it like toxic individualism, where someone will say like, they just don't work hard enough. I work, and people will flex like, I work 80 hours a week. I work 80 hours a week. I take care of my family. Maybe you should cut out things and you should work 80 hours a week. And it's like, don't you understand? Like, why? Like, that's not a flex to say
peasant mentality.
I
It's
work
peasant.
80 hours a week.
It's peasant mentality. It's I demand
Truckers.
nothing. No, I hate to tell you, if anything, it's the other folks. It's they demand nothing from their elected officials. Nothing. You know who they demand shit from? You, Bruce. They demand shit from you, not from elected officials. They're willing to let the party choose the nominee without a vote. They are willing to, they ask for nothing. Nothing. They'll vote for you. And it's really true on both sides to a large degree, but it is the idea of demanding more from your fellow citizen than you do from your elected officials. We should demand our fucking elected officials give a shit.
Oh yeah, I
about
would agree with that.
You
I would
should
agree with
not be
that.
demanding more from your neighbor than you do from your fucking senator, congressman, whatever. Like, but people are so brainwashed in this stupid, retarded, fucking me versus you, blue versus red bullshit. Like Frank Zappa said, politics is the entertainment division of the military industrial complex. And that's what I believe. But again, it's peasant mentality. It is this, I don't expect anything from my elected officials. I'm going to vote for them. It's cool. I'm going to demand more from my
Are
fellow
you
citizens.
going to vote? Are you voting this year?
I will either write in Pauly Shore. Remember him from the 90s?
Yeah. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I might write him in, or I'll vote Green Party. One of the two.
Who's
Green
the
Party-
nominee for who's it's
Jill
it
Stein. It's Jill again. They're just a
Jill.
mess. The Green Party is kind of a mess in terms of
It is a
their-
mess. I've seen some videos with Jill Stein. It's like, yeesh, dude.
No, it's not her. It's the party. It's a vanity project. And like, there's, you know how there's like this weird, like, hey, you're not this kind of, it's like they can't see the forest for the trees, even though they're good on almost all stuff. And I agree with them on their positions on a lot of things.
Yeah.
They don't seem serious. And it's like,
Yeah,
there's been so many
that's
things
a good
that
way
happened.
to put it.
They
That's
flirted with,
and they should be serious. Any third party should be serious, because it's like time. There's a lot of people like you out there that are like, I want a fucking third party option.
well, there's
And
going to be
so-
more and more. And I think as time goes on, you're going to get more and more people just fed up and saying, why?
No, you will. And I think that's good. And I think after this particular election, which is problematic, then you're going to
tell you
have.
that they're going to tell you that every election. You know that,
Well,
right?
I mean, I
Every
think
election.
next year will be a little bit better as far as the
they're
third
going to tell you
party.
the same shit. They're going to say, no, not this time. Not this time. It's too important, Bruce. Too important. They said every 4 years. They said it in 2004. They said it in 2008. They said it in 2012. You're buying all the bullshit, but that's fine. Do what you want. I love you anyway. But
I'll win that $20. I'll tell you that much.
oh, she's got no shot. She's got no shot.
You want to up it?
I will. Name your amount.
Kamala's going to win presidency. I'll bet you $50.
My God, yes, she's got no shot. No shot. And
Are
I
you
don't care.
kidding?
And I don't care who wins. Bear in mind, I'm not telling you that because I want her to lose. I don't.
No,
give a
no.
fuck.
It's just amazing that you think that. Wow.
Well, because why?
I would even make another bet. This is a crazy bet. You're going to think this is nuts. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I bet Kamala wins all 7 swing states.
You're out of your mind. Where are you getting this from? Who's gotten in your head? Like, it's crazy.
It's not. I mean, I'm not going to say it's fact based. It's not. It's just completely what I pick up with the tone of America right now.
2/3. Here's the tone. I'll tell you the tone. 2/3 of voters, and you won't disagree with this. 2/3 of voters believe the country's going in the wrong direction, and they're either struggling with the economy or semi-struggling with the economy. 2/3.
Yeah. Usually older Americans.
No.
Okay,
No.
go on with
all
your
over
point.
the board. It's all over the board.
Go
Well,
on,
who's struggling
2/3
the most? Boomers aren't struggling with the economy.
2/3 of people think the country's going in the wrong
2/3 of
direction.
voters
I'll go along with that.
are displeased with the economy and or the state of the country. 2/3. Okay. When that happens, it's very simple. People like that don't vote for the incumbent. She's the fucking incumbent. She's the one who's in charge right now while we have a fucking wars happen all over the world. and inflation. And fair or not, I know you don't think it's her fault and she's great and she'll be fine. Fair or not, that's the way it works. She's the incumbent. And that's why I think she's got no shot.
Joe Biden was the incumbent. She's new. She's got all this fresh
She's
energy.
the VP, dude. She's
yeah,
the
but
incumbent.
no, dude. She's gonna win. She's gonna win big. It's not even gonna be fucking close.
Listen.
$50. Don't forget.
Do me a favor. When she loses, look in the fucking mirror and say the party should have had a fucking primary. How's that? Will you do that for me?
Yeah, I would agree with you that right now.
Okay,
actually,
that's good. Then you're all right. Most of my friends are going to be shocked when she
No, loses. I would absolutely. The party should have a fucking primary right now. I'm just look. I'm pretty good at reading the tone of like just the vibe that's out there. I consider. I mean, that's kind of hippy dippy shit, but I feel myself like sort of tuned into it.
It's 2016 all over again, man.
No, dude, I did this another job. Okay, here's another little trick that I do. So I drove all the way from here to California, right? And I played a little, it's a long drive. It's 8 hours, dude. And you're bored, right? So I'm like, let me count how many Trump stickers I see on the back of people's cars.
This is your scientific.
Yeah. In 2016, when I did it, or 2020, I mean, there's loads of them, even those wackadoodle trucks with flags on them and stuff. Yeah, not a one. I didn't count a one. And
I refuse to take your money. I'm just telling you, do not be surprised.
No, that's fine.
That's all I'm saying. Just don't be surprised. And I warned all of my friends. You're not one of my. At least you understand the problem that we have with capitalism.
No. Look, I know. Okay, here's the thing. I know that if she wins, none of my problems are going to get solved. Nothing's going to be any better. Nothing changes. Same old shit. Capitalism. My main thing is capitalism. That's the evil force beyond everything. Point blank.
And that will not change until we break down.
It's not going to fucking change till everything collapses. I get that.
Okay.
But and I know that they should have had a primary. 100% agree. People are tired of this motherfucking Trump, and they're going to get rid of him. They're going to get rid of him.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with you there. I think if the Republicans had run literally anyone else, it would be.
They should have. They should have. I mean, I feel. Look, I voted Republican many times, and
if they had run anyone else, remember what I just told you. 2/3 of voters are pissed off. If they had run anyone else, this would be over.
If they ran anyone else who would tap into that people that are upset at the way things are, they would have won. It would have been great. Someone that had like a vocabulary that wasn't a
but their voters
are
stupid.
person.
Their voters are stupid, and they're like, no, let's go with the guy everybody hates. And I know that, and that will make it closer than it should be. But I still think it's not going to.
But that's what I'm saying. People actually.
I think he's going to win.
People like Kamala. People like this woman.
No,
they really like her.
No, they don't.
And women. No. Well, I don't know. No, you're in Florida, bro.
I'm looking at polls. I'm looking at polling. It's fucking fake. She's the most unpopular vice president in history. Before this thing in July, where everyone's decided she's great, she had favorability in the 20s. She was terrible. And then they decided, no.
There's something going on in this country where people love her.
It's called a psyop. It's called propaganda. That's what it's called.
It's psyop.
It's propaganda. She's fucking terrible. They could have run all kinds of people who were not terrible, but they decided they want the terrible one. So she's going to lose.
They probably decided she's going to win. They've decided that
No.
You don't think she's...
Listen, let me tell you why. The people who run this country, the real people who run this country, we got a recession. We are on tap. We are due for a recession. Probably 2025, 2026. What they don't want is us blaming the Kamala types for that. They want us blaming the mean orange man. So orange man will be the president. We have a recession. He gets blamed. He'll leave in disgrace in 2028. You'll get what you want. You'll get Gavin Newsom or something like that in 2028. Congratulations.
Kamala's going to win, and Trump goes to jail. He will be in jail.
You have been... Oh, my God, Bruce, what am I going to do with you? Rich people don't go to jail, you dope.
Don't call me dope.
Rich people don't go to jail. You know that.
He's going to go to jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your money now because you're propagandized and you need to learn a lesson. I'm gonna take your money, but no,
he's gonna go to jail.
I predict not only will he win, but it will not be close. I think he's gonna win most of the swing states, if not all.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm
not saying this because I'm rooting for it. Again, I want to make something abundantly clear. I don't give a fuck who wins. Either way, I'm gonna laugh. Either way, it will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
hilarious. It will be funny either way. I win no matter what. Because if he wins, I laugh at people who believe that she was going to win. And if she wins, I laugh at my Republican friends who I told a year ago, don't nominate that guy. So
Yeah.
either way, I win. So, but I'm telling you what I see based on the polling. And I follow this pretty closely. And we'll
Yeah.
see. Maybe he gets
Yeah.
assassinated. Maybe he gets assassinated. That would stop it. But look, I don't wish anyone to be assassinated. But that's the only thing I could see
Yeah,
stopping.
I don't wish them to be assassinated too. I do agree that I think it's pretty awful that we're getting to a point where, like, any kind of political
It's crazy.
assassination attempt or insurrection attempt or anything like that is just not right in this fucking
No,
country.
we have two groups of people propagandized beyond belief. The United States of America has the most propagandized people on earth. And I'm dealing with people who are so removed from reality. Friends of mine, not you, but like friends of mine who, Bruce, they don't get why people are mad. The 2/3 of people I told you about who are mad, my friends don't understand it. They think things are great. Things are great. What are you
I
talking
understand completely.
So yeah,
I
you're not
understand.
that bad.
I'm not that bad. I mean, look, and
No,
I
you're
don't
not.
think,
You just
by
you
the
have a touch
way,
of you have a
and in
touch
my
of PDS. That's it. But
in
you're
my
not.
in my circle, I don't think guys like you are that bad too, because I've got some insufferable libertarian friends. I'm not saying you are,
I'm not
but
a libertarian.
I've got some insufferable libertarian friends who aren't like you, but like, you know what I'm talking about. And like camo wearing, weed smoking, fucking Waco, this type of person.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I just don't deal with that as well. But I don't know. I'm glad I have this bet because I feel like I'm going to win.
Oh my God. You're
But
not
then
gonna win.
again, when I play the lottery, I feel like I'm going to win too every time.
I love you,
I was,
man, but I'm just telling you, it's so obvious what's going to happen. It's so obvious, like based on electoral trends. It's amazing to me. Anyway, I mean, we'll see. Again, I don't care. Whoever wins, I'm going to laugh either way. But I'm writing in Pauly Shore. So you're in a swing state. I'm not.
yeah, I'm in a swing state.
Florida used to be a swing state. I don't know what happened. It used to be a swing state. It's still,
The 7 swing states, I think, are Arizona.
Can
What
we
are
name
they?
them? I don't know if I can name them all.
Let me try.
Georgia,
Arizona, Pennsylvania,
Georgia.
Atlanta, right? Georgia, Georgia,
Oh,
Atlanta,
Wisconsin, Michigan.
right? Wisconsin,
How many is
Michigan.
that?
That's 5, I think we got.
Nevada? Is Nevada a swing state?
I think Nevada might be a swing state.
I can't remember.
I don't know. It's going to be. So the thing is, like, Ro and I usually love to watch election night on the November 5th. That's where we
God.
watch TV and they have like
I
the
used to love
numbers.
it, not anymore.
So we like watching that, and but I'm not going to be around. Like I said, look, I'm going to be in East Jesus during that, so we're not.
I'll
gonna
be jealous,
watching
man.
it.
I'm going to avoid it like the plague. I'm writing in
See,
Pauly
that's
Shore.
the thing. I'm going to be out there. I'm just, and I
I'm going to
probably
vote.
won't.
I'll vote for like
Whatever.
senator, and I'll vote for all the stuff below it. For president, I'll write in Pauly Shore, and then
Yeah.
I'll laugh either way. I mean, you and I, that one thing we have in common, look, we disagree on a lot, but we do agree. We enjoy watching the world burn. We do like that. So,
Yeah. I mean, when I brought up the thing about the nuclear bomb, like
I don't want that.
I do want that, dude.
No,
I want to watch on TV like one day. I don't care if I'm
No,
60 or 70. I want to see something really bad
No.
and go.
I want a
"Oh,
worker uprising. I want a worker uprising where working class people of all stripes, of all political parties, of all everything say, fuck off, we're done.
But the problem with that is that, I mean, I want it too, but we've got this ingrained toxic individualism where people are looking out for number
I'll
one
just work
first.
a little harder. If I just
You know
work
what? Yeah, if you guys, and people won't sacrifice. Well, I need my paycheck next weekend, so if I go on strike and be with you guys, I don't have my paycheck, and people are stuck in survival mode. So I got to take care of my family. I'm worried about them first.
I know, but what if it's gotten to the point where your paycheck is so shitty that you got nothing to lose?
And
that's where we're headed.
That's valid, because that is very much where we're headed. It's getting to the point where like it's not worth it to work anymore.
No, they are. It is a race to the bottom. They are automating everything. They're trying to take away jobs.
Why am I even working? And I made that decision. I'm there. It's like, why am I working to make this money? And I'm absolutely miserable when I cannot work and just be a little more poor, but I feel much better. And it's a fucking talk about breaking out of mindset. Like, that's fucking crazy.
And you said it yourself that a lot of younger people are just not even entering, the
Oh,
system.
they're done. They don't give a fuck. People say, Bruce, aren't you worried about the future? Like you're spending your retirement. You're going to take it when you're 62. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really care. And they're like, what happens if you're 75 and you're totally broke and you need money to take care of? I'm like, I'm jumping off a cliff. And they're like, you're going to unalive yourself? I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, that's horrible. That's fucking fatalistic.
No, don't
And
do
I'm
that.
like,
Just come live on my compound. I'll put you up.
that's true. That's true. I have Dan as the backup.
No matter what, you can come live. I will put you. You live in the barn. It's air conditioned. I'll make you a stall.
I love you, bro.
It's got running water. It's got a washing machine.
Bro, as long as I got running water, shit, man, I could live there straight up.
Yeah, it's
That's funny.
No, I'm not looking forward to. I'll be in New York right before, and then I'm just going to avoid all the shit. It's going to be annoying either way. I will enjoy a certain amount of it, but then the whining from either team is going to be annoying.
Let me ask you that. Let me ask you this. On any level, on any deep level, do you get any joy out of seeing a black woman finally get into some sort of power and just ending this hundreds of old white guys?
No, because she is a tool of the empire. I don't give a fuck what her skin color is. She is pro-war. She wants more war. Listen to what she says.
No, I agree with you there.
Don't give a fuck what her skin color is. I want no more. I want an end to wars. I want an end to corporate ownership of this country. And you can't fool me with this identity politics bullshit. That is all bullshit.
But do you think it speaks to progress being made in the United States about racism? The fact that
I don't think it speaks to shit other than they anointed her and she's a tool of the empire, and that's it. And she is a tool of the empire, period. I don't give a fuck what her color is. Don't care.
That's interesting. All right, that's your opinion. That's interesting.
You said yourself nothing will change.
No, nothing will change. But I do like the fact that it just ends this line of just old.
Well, then
white
you're
guys.
the guy they're going for. You're the mark. You're the guy they're going for. Until enough people say no.
Overwhelming amount of us that want that.
All right. Well, let's see how that works out for you. Let's say she wins.
It's going to work out bad. Nothing's going to happen for me. I'm still not going to have any money.
And then in 2028, when we're having this discussion all over again, I'm like, look, man, you should vote third party. Nah, they're running Bob Smith, and he's bad. We got to vote.
But Dan, it's kind of like, do you know what triage is? Like in medicals, like
I do.
So I mean,
they're going to do it every 4 years, man. But no, they're going to do it every 4 years. They're going to do it every 4 years. They're going to find someone else. In 2028, it'll be John Schmo, the new guy. He's evil. You don't understand. He's going to come to your house. He's going to stick his hand up your ass. Whatever. They're going to do it every 4 years.
Well, that's enough. How you think. That's okay.
And I think, I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to blow your mind. He's the lesser evil.
No, you're wrong.
For you.
Yeah. You're wrong about it.
Fewer wars under him.
That's a hard disagree.
Not even arguable. Fewer wars.
I'm going to go before I get upset because that is just.
Well, I'm not voting. No, look, I'm not voting for him. I'm not telling you I'm voting for him.
Well, I'm glad you're not voting for him. Because I have a hard time dealing with people.
I don't vote for the. Well, you should never be that way. You shouldn't hate someone because of who they vote for.
I do though, because it speaks to their character.
It really does. But you don't know what they're going through in their life. And what he has done
through hardships, what it tells me that they hate people based on their skin color. They base people based on their sexuality. No, I can't deal with it.
It's just not true. It's just not true.
It is very true.
It is not true.
When you go to a Trump rally and people are flashing around swastikas, you're at a Klan rally and it's a bad deal.
I just think you are buying into the. Again, I can't stand the guy. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
But you're buying into the propaganda, and I know a shitload of working class, angry people who unfortunately are buying his act, but they're not bad people and they're not racist.
They're all bad people. If you vote for Trump, you're a bad person, and I want nothing to do with you. And I've gotten rid of family members over that.
Terrible.
I've gotten rid of friends. I don't give a fuck.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that.
I have.
Don't say that. He was created. Trump is there because of capitalism and what has happened to this country. You should hate what put him there.
I hate capitalism more.
You expect more from your fellow man, your fellow citizen, than you do from your elected officials. You said it yourself. You know voting for her won't change anything, and that's okay. But you hate me if I vote Trump, which I'm not, but you hate me if I do. So it's just.
But
You should hate.
you know,
You should
but
hate the elites.
the system is capitalism
You
itself.
should hate
It's
the
not
elites.
just the elite. Like it's the elite. Yeah, I hate them, but what's in control of them is the system
Right.
that we're
That's
under.
what I meant. That's what I meant. When I say the elites, I mean the system. That's what you
Yeah.
should hate. Because he
So I
wouldn't. He
do. I
wouldn't. He
don't want
wouldn't be there.
capitalism
There'd be
around
no.
anymore.
He wouldn't be there. A guy like him could never get this far if it weren't for what has happened to the working class. That's just that
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah.
And if you want him to go away, and I keep telling my friends this up north, and they don't get it, you want him to go away, address the bullshit with the working class, get wages up, get people in a better position where they don't fall for some crazy orange
But
guy.
maybe there shouldn't be wages. Maybe there shouldn't be capitalism. Maybe we should try something different, like straight up socialism or straight up
Well,
communism.
that'll never happen in the U.S. But
I know,
it
but
is-
that's what's in my head. You know what I
but
mean?
within reason, 50 years ago, we had a system where people could afford, if you had a job, any job almost, you could afford to have a one-income family. Take a
Yeah,
vacation.
capitalism was working. It was working. But where we are right now is the natural course of it, where it's just growth. People want growth. The shareholders want growth. But people, these restaurants and everything's closing around. People are freaking out, like, oh my God, Olive Garden's closing down or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, get ready, because it's going to be more and more of that. You know, it's just not working out.
Remember, I told you the pendulum. It swung so far. It's because
Yeah.
It's because the people who run this country, the corporations who run the country, have been writing our laws for 30 years.
Yeah.
And they're written in such a way that the 90+% of us who are regular working people are fucked. And that's just how it is. And so there's no point in hating your fellow citizen, because that's not going to get you anywhere. If you want to get somewhere, we got to hate the system, because there are not enough of them.
I think I got enough hate to go around. I got hate for both of them. I got hate for Trumpers. I really do.
It's just such an look, man, I can't stand these elitist smug libs that I know.
Yeah,
right?
I know you told me that before.
But I don't hate them because they're voting for her. I hate them because they're elitist, right?
Yeah.
I don't care who they vote for.
I don't care that okay, how about this? I don't hate that they're voting for Trump. I just hate that they're racist.
What if they're
and
not?
homophobic?
What if they're not? You think that all 70 million people who voted for him are racist?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
I do.
Crazy.
On some level, you have to be.
No, you don't. You don't. You have to be pissed at the system. That's all it is.
Agree to disagree.
They see him as like a bomb throwing at the system, even though he's a billionaire, which makes no sense.
Yeah.
But again, he is not the problem. He is a symptom of the problem.
Yeah, I would agree with that. For sure.
And so if we're going to get past this as a country and as a citizenry, we need to recognize who the real enemy is.
I'm with you. I really hope that one day there could be a healing, you know?
Or there can't be, because the owners don't want that. They want us to hate each other. They want us to think that anyone who votes for Trump is evil, or anyone who votes for Kamala is evil. Either way. I mean, either way. Because look, if you talk to some of my conservative buddies, they think that if you vote for her, you're X, Y, and Z. And I say the same thing to them. I go, look, man, you can't hate a person for their personal decision. Hate the system. Don't hate the person.
Yeah.
You know? I don't hate. There is no, if you're a member of the working class, we are allied. I'm with you. I don't care what your politics are. And that's my attitude.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Well, that's good, Dan.
And I will take your $50.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get
I'll
a nice
take your
crisp 50. And like that.
I'll send you, if Trump wins, I'm sending you a $50 bill. I will.
Crisp. Got to be
crisp. I'll go to the bank and make sure it's new.
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
say,
no,
you say, listen,
you one with
you go and you say that I owe a Jew $50.
And I'll just say, it'll be a note. It'll say, you were right and I was wrong. Listen, I've made bets before for different reasons.
I hate taking your money though.
And I know, because I'm so poor. But like, that's okay. It's my decision.
Maybe I'll come up with a different thing you could do. Something more fun.
No, I'm not doing anything fucking demeaning on the podcast, which is I know what you want me to do. Probably
I'll think it. I'll give you your choice. If you, how about that?
I'll probably choose the 50 no matter what.
Probably.
But I'm not going to have to, because she's going to win, and with flying colors. I really want to make a side bet with you on the swing states, because I think that's something that people are.
I haven't looked at all of them individually. From what and again, I researched this shit pretty hard. So
yeah.
Well,
think about the polls. I mean, there's so many different polls.
I know, but I'm gonna give you this information, and then hopefully you start to realize both Hillary and Biden were way up.
Oh
over
no,
Hillary at
I
this
told you,
point.
Ro and I were watching. We watched this shit, and we know we started watching that night, and they were like, they called it way. Oh, fucking Hillary's got it. And we're like, dude, Trump's gonna win, and the numbers started coming in, and we were like, wow, the polls were fucking wrong as
All
hell.
I'm saying to you is there is a weird thing that they have not corrected yet, by the way, where there's a segment of his support that doesn't show up in polls, and it happened in 2016 and 2020. I don't remember the exact numbers. It's around 5 to 6 percentage points, something like that, where Hillary was up like 6 and won by 2, right? And then Biden was up by, I think, 8 or 10 and won by 4. And this is national. National doesn't matter. But in every state, everywhere nationally, she is underperforming both Biden and Hillary. That is a red flag. Unless they have fixed the polling, right?
Yeah.
Have they fixed it where now we know what his true support is? Maybe. If that's the case, then you would be correct and I'm wrong. Then I'm wrong if that's the case. But I don't think they fixed it. I think it's your typical standard pissed off electorate who wants change. They're unhappy with the economy and inflation. They're going to vote against the incumbent.
I just keep thinking about this idea about polling and like how that works. Like if my phone rings and it's an unknown number, I'm not picking it up under any circumstance, nor do I know anybody who's going to pick it up under any circumstance.
I know, but it's all we have to go on, right? It's all we have to go on. And if you're looking at 2016 and 2020, and you're like, okay, what's the difference now between then and now? 2020 was easy to figure out. It's the same. Actually, 2020 was the same thing. You had an incumbent with bad shit going on, a pandemic and an economic crash. And people wanted change and they wanted to vote for the challenger. I predicted it. Anyone with a brain thought Biden was going to win, but he barely won. That's the thing that's the reason I know that Kamala's going to lose. Biden barely won, even given all that, because the polling under.
Yeah, but don't you think that people don't like Joe Biden's a joke and nobody liked him? No one was. What about passion? What about the idea that people are now genuinely excited about this?
She ran for president in 2020 and she had to drop out before the first primary because she
went up against who? Biden?
Nobody. She was so bad. She was up against fucking Biden. She was terrible. She didn't even make the first primary. She was running 4th in her home state. She's a terrible politician.
I think we're in a different time now.
You think that from June, which was what, 3 months ago, to now, that there's been this, now she's great. Everyone changed.
Here's what I think. I watched the debate with Joe Biden and Trump, and I was right there watching it. And I was unbelievably shocked, as most of the nation was, about how bad Biden looked on this debate. And it was just shocking. You remember the images of him just like
were you really shocked and surprised? I wasn't.
I was sort of like, no, I wasn't that shocked and surprised. I was kind of like, wow, he's doing really bad, but it was just so bad, dude. It was like really, because I watched that debate and I'm like, he's gonna have to really fucking have some coffee or something. But it couldn't have gone worse for Joe Biden, especially the visual aspect. I don't think anyone coached him and said, hey, don't have your mouth open during the times where you're not talking, because there's so many shots of him looking at Trump like this.
Yeah.
And that image alone killed his whole presidential run. So someone must have got a hold of him and said, look, this is just a visual thing, that you look like a fucking corpse.
This was all on purpose, and they knew he couldn't run, and they forced him through so they could have a primary without, or not a real primary. Because if you have a sitting president, that's about the only legit reason to say we're not going to have a real primary, because we have the sitting president. And so they forced him through, and then at the last minute, they forced him out. I predicted all of this. I said a year ago this was going to happen. It happened, and they forced her in with no vote, nothing. It's a joke. And in my mind, I don't hate.
I mean, it might be dirty. It might be dirty pool by the Democrats, but it is working. I mean, she's performing better than Biden did.
She is performing a little better, but I don't think in the end she will.
And Trump is nervous about it. He keeps saying, like, I wish Joe Biden was,
well, of course he does, because Biden would have been easy to beat, because Biden can't leave his base.
It was easy for him to punch Biden around and look great. You know what I mean? I mean, shit.
She won't do a fucking interview, dude. She won't get on a real interview or do a press conference.
If I'm her, I'm not doing an interview either.
It's a fucking joke.
The whole thing's a game. I agree with you for sure, but look.
He is a dope, and I don't like him, but he does interviews and he does press conferences, and he won a primary. So from my mind, that's a real candidate, even though he's a dope. She is not. It's not serious. If you're voting for her, you're not a serious person. You're a peasant. You're saying, okay, fine, I'll vote for whoever you tell me to vote for. Party. You can put anyone in there, and it's okay with me. I don't have to have a say in it. It's fine. And she doesn't have to do interviews either. It's cool that she's not going to do an interview or address.
Well,
anything.
I don't like you calling me a dope and a peasant because
No. He's a dope. Trump's a dope.
Okay.
Trump's a dope. I said anyone who votes for her is not a serious person. I'm sorry. It's one thing to hate him. That's fine. Vote third party like I am. Is what you fucking should do. So,
well, on that note, Dan, I think we've had enough politics talk, and this is probably. I mean, look, we always have these different talks, and there's probably a reason.
You're just so close because we're so close on so many things, but you just can't break the grip of the MSNBC.
See, but you think I'm the dumb one, and I'm the wrong one on this.
No, you're not dumb.
I don't. But I think. Listen, there's things that I'm thinking about you that I never say out. I don't say out.
You can say it out loud. Say it.
No.
They got you. NPR, MSNBC.
Dan Richmond thinks that he has this knowledge on the way things work that he's tapped into because he's done his own research, and you're not as smart as you think you are with all this research that you've done, and maybe the world doesn't go that deep, and maybe you really don't know about the whole puppeteering that goes on.
I'm just taking what is out there that seems obvious to me, and I'm extrapolating. And I said,
I do the same thing. I just said
Biden's not going to be able to run. They're going to push him out. They're going to install somebody in July. That's what they're going to do. And that's what they did. Said it a year ago. I'm not a genius. I'm not.
No, I mean, I'd agree with you. I mean,
I'm not a genius. I said, hey, this party doesn't have primaries anymore. They're not going to have a primary. They're going to force them through unopposed. Then they're going to install who they want. For me, that's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker.
But for whatever reason, look, both sides will play dirty pool for sure. But it was a brilliant move on their part if they're going to try to win because people like this candidate. They do.
No, they
I mean, it's a brainwashing, you can call it, but
again, if I showed you her numbers from June, 4 months ago, this isn't like years ago. This is just 4 months ago.
She wasn't the candidate from 4 months ago.
She was the sitting vice president.
Yeah, but Joe Biden was running for president, not her.
But it's not like people
don't think about the fucking vice president, bro.
So you're saying people didn't know her 4 months ago?
Exactly. They knew who she was, but she's not like. Put it this way: I'm watching that debate, right, and I'm like, "Oh, that was really bad." I'm talking about the Joe Biden-Trump debate, and I'm like, "Shit, that was really bad." And then after that debate, I'm driving home from California. I'm like, "Jesus, what's going to happen now?" And of course, there was all kinds of chatter and stuff about like, what are the Democrats going to do? Are they going to stick with Joe? And there's a bunch of people like, let's just stick with him no matter what. And then, of course, there were outliers that remember like this whole chatter, like, oh, it's going to be Gavin Newsom or somebody like that. And this whole thing interested me because I'm like, we're in fucking virgin territory. We've got a presidential candidate who's so old and fucked up that his old party is like saying,
and you think they didn't know that prior to the start of the primaries? You think that this was all news?
I have to agree with you. I think that might have been some sort of, because there are some smart people that are pulling strings.
Doesn't it bother you even a little that they knew it, they forced him through unopposed, and then they just did the switcheroo? That doesn't bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me as much as Trump and the insurrection. No.
Insurrection.
It doesn't.
Okay. He's going to win. I'm just warning you. I'm just giving you fair warning.
He's going to lose, bro.
I'm giving you fair warning. I don't care who wins, but I'm just
giving you fair warning. I'll take that 50.
Don't be upset and don't be shocked when you install a candidate without a vote. This is what happens. People are pissed.
Okay. Don't be shocked and scared when people had enough with this insane person.
Oh, he's terrible. I agree with that. We already said if they ran anyone else, it wouldn't even be an election. It'd be easy. It's
definitely a lesser of two evils things, and that does suck. I mean, you're right. There should be.
But that's every election. I'm trying to think when the last time was in a general election. There was a president running that I really felt it wasn't just voting against someone else. Probably Obama 2008, maybe.
Yeah, I voted for Obama. I was super excited to vote for Obama
in 2008. Yeah, so was I.
The first one.
The first one. Since then,
That was 08.
It's always lesser of two evils, man. It always is, and then just the thing. At some point, people got to stop saying yes to that.
But I remember Obama when he came out on, like, there was that one point where Obama, like, they had the Republican primary. There's this one part, like, it was a debate where all the people that wanted to be Democratic forerunner, and Obama was on stage with probably, do you remember this? Like, probably like 10 other people that wanted to be the Democratic nominee for president. And I'm watching this, and he's up there talking. I'm like, this dude is so fucking smooth and so good. I mean, I don't know what his policies are, whatever, but I just know that this is just a popularity contest anyway. It's all it is. And he was up there, and I'm like, this is our next president. I knew from that very day, I'm like, this guy has just charged up this nation by storm.
In our lifetime,
and I've never seen that before. I've never seen
the most gifted politician.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Clinton was good too. Bill Clinton was good. Reagan was good. I would say Reagan, Bill Clinton, and Obama, in terms of just political skills, were the three best.
And Reagan was funny too, because like that's the start of like, this guy is a Hollywood actor, right? And that didn't. People were like,
that's basically what they are now, right?
I know, right? And but that was the first time it was really out in the open. I'm like, oh, this guy is like, you could see him in fucking old Western movies. I'm like, Ronald.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten to a point where it's a script, basically. Like, they're all of them.
We've got fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've got Donald Trump. We've got Jesse Ventura. Like, it's a joke. Like, it's a popularity contest, just like it's a reality show. And
I just don't know what's going to get people to say enough is enough already. I mean, because every 4 years they're going to scare you into thinking the other guy's terrible. They're going to do the same thing every 4 years. I just hope in 2028, not now, but the next time around, enough people say, all right, well, you told me before this other guy was the worst. Now a new guy's the worst. Like, at some point you have to say, okay, you're giving me the same story every 4 years.
Like, but don't you think maybe that's up to whoever the third party candidate is maybe it's up to them to really choose someone that people can get passionate
about. That's definitely true. I mean, part of the issue with the third parties, part of the issue is they get sued off the ballot by the two major parties. But the other part is, you're absolutely correct, that they do a very shitty job.
Really? I mean, all this, you got to come down to something that people, it's all about passion. What are people passionate about?
The Green Party had the chance to get Cornel West as their nominee, who is
that would have been good. I know this guy,
and
that would have been good.
They fucked that up.
Yeah,
I don't know the reasons why, but again, that is exactly emblematic.
See, that would have been good. He wasn't going to win, but he would have made a very big dent in this whole situation that people would have paid attention to.
And the Libertarians are just as bad. They end up, the Libertarians especially, it's all purity, right? It's like, I'm more libertarian than you. No, I'm more libertarian than you.
Dude,
I'm more libertarian than you.
They're horrible. Like,
they're awful, right? Even though I agree with them on a lot of stuff, they can't see the forest for the trees. And like, they end up putting forth some candidate you don't give a fuck about who's terrible. You are exactly right. For there to be a dent, you have to have a figure who really can inspire people.
Yeah.
Because I do believe, and we agree on this, that most voters want other options. So,
yeah, for sure. And I think that'd be really great if any kind of, and I'm not stopping at 3 parties. Maybe there should be 5 fucking parties.
Most countries have that.
I know,
most
right?
Countries, that's how they are.
I just get 5 to 7, have them all different, have them. But of course, the whole thing's what again goes back to capitalism. Every time I turn on the news or whatever, they're like, "Hey, donate us some money to this party and donate some money to this party," and everything's money based.
Well, it's all money
like,
owns the system. And the other problem is each state has its own rules. And so if you're a Green Party or Libertarian Party, whatever, and you want to get on the ballot, it's really hard. And the 2 major parties stop you. And here's a quiz. There's 50 states. Of the 50 states, 1 will only have the 2 major parties on the ballot, whereas all the other states will at least have the Libertarians. Or
that's New Hampshire.
No, one will. No. You're thinking opposite. New Hampshire.
Okay, right.
One state is so fucking hard and brutal and owned by the 2 parties that the Greens and the Libertarians couldn't even get on the ballot.
What state is that?
Yes.
California.
Nope. California probably has a bunch of people. Near and dear to you. New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. New York. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. They sued the Green Party off the ballot. It's just so bad, man. It's just...
One thing that I find really weird is that, like, tell me what you think about this. So I just noticed, like, all these ads that are targeting me, like, hey, can you donate $5 to Trump? Or hey, can you donate $3 to Kamala? Or hey, can you donate? They're always looking for like constant like emails and just give me a little bit of money, a little bit of money. But then the people that are the electing, like the workers that actually count the votes, the people that there were Trumpers with long guns, like threatening here in Arizona, like the people that actually have to like count the votes. That's
The Board of Elections.
It's a volunteer like
Right.
thing.
Right.
And so I'm like, wow, the public has to volunteer for free to do the actual work of the election.
Usually
But
there's an
yet
elected
they
official.
have to like, but the
I don't know if
politicians are
that's
the ones that need the
true.
money.
Well, the reason the politicians need the money is because it's all a big, like, elections are a billion-dollar business.
Oh yeah,
And
the
you
money
have
is just brutal.
consultants, and you have think tanks, and you have all these people who make gobs and gobs and gobs of money who
Yeah.
just get people to donate. And I'm talking working class people who need that money to donate
yeah.
to them so
Yeah.
they can pay their buddies and give the money to their consultant buddies. There's organizations out there. This makes me so angry that prey on people's emotions on both sides.
Yeah,
And
I'm with you on this 100%. I know what you're talking about.
Basically, there's organizations and they pretend that they are passionately pro whoever, X. And so what they do is they find people who are passionately for the same thing or anti the opposite, right? And then they say, well, and then they create this content to get you all fired up, right? And then they get you to donate,
rage baiting.
and they tell you, we're going to use the money that you donate to help stop this bad whoever.
Yeah.
Joe Q politician. And what happens to that money, Bruce? Where's it
None
go?
of it goes right into some dude's pocket. None of it goes
into the pocket of these consultants.
It's just like anything
And
else.
it
Like
is-
you donate to any cause, like very little of it goes to the people that need it. It's all
It's
the
almost
infrastructure.
like, you know what it's like? It's sort of like you're watching a movie, and the movie's boring. And then all of a sudden there's a hot girl with who's topless. And you're like, you're putting that there just to keep me tuned in. Right?
Yeah.
And you know better. You know it's a trick. Right? You know that this isn't part of the plot.
But
right?
you'll watch it for a little
But
bit
you'll still
more.
watch it, right?
Yeah.
It is crazy to me that people can't see this. That it's like,
Oh,
you're
I can see
giving
it.
money. It's one thing to give money directly to a candidate. I don't think working class people should do. But even that, but I could see it. Okay, I'm going to write a check to Joe Schmo, the senator. Right.
Right.
But to give it to some group, political group.
I mean, there's like, so we live in this heavy white boomer area, and we got 2 pieces of mail the other day. There's like I think governor race going on here between Kerry Lake and Ruben Gallego.
No, that's senator.
Senator, sorry.
I can't believe that broad's running for something else,
dude. So she's very big. She's very big in this neighborhood. She's down in the polls. She's down in the polls by double digits.
You know what's funny though? I want you to. This is one thing I respect about the Trump people. They do not like being told who to vote for, because if all it took was saying vote for her, she'd win. But they don't like her, even though they like Trump, right?
Yeah, the MAGA as a movement is rejecting her. That's what's happening.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. In a weird way, I kind of respect them because they're not him and that's true of all of his candidates. Herschel Walker, all these people he had run, they all lost. All of them, right? And it's like, you almost have to respect. They're like, no, we don't like her.
No, because that's what they fall out of favor with the orange man, and that's all they need.
No, but she never fell out of favor. They just don't like her.
Nah, she said he started. So anyway, she's running
so
around
bad.
here, and she's terrible.
I just don't get it. Like, she's so.
There are 1 million yard signs. Like in this neighborhood alone, you can't. There are tons of Kerry Lake signs.
She's gonna lose, man.
And so the other day I got 2 pieces of mail. We get these mailers in the mailbox because old white boomer neighborhood, and it says, "Here's why voting for Ruben Gallego is dangerous." And it's this clear propaganda, like just what you said. It's all this list.
At the bottom who produced it.
Yeah, it's not her. It's some third party that's going to skim the money. And they know that old white boomers, they write checks, bro. They don't give a fuck. They got disposable income. They'll write checks. And it's
This is what I'm
horrible.
telling you. This is the one thing I respect about that group is that they love him for whatever reason, but they don't listen to him when he tells them vote for her. They don't listen because I will tell you right now, I will bet you right now, I will put an additional bet that he wins Arizona, but so does Gallego.
I'm not going to bet against that. I think there's a real good chance Trump wins.
Meaning people show up and vote for him, but they refuse to vote for her.
No, 100%. Look, I live here. I can. That's what I'm saying. I can sense the tone in that. Right.
See, that's why I prefer them, because as clownish as they are as a group, the Trump people, and as easy as they are to make fun of, right? They refuse to be told who to vote for. Whereas the libs, if Kamala says vote for so and so, 99.9% of them will do it. Whereas these
but I don't think Trump is he standing by and endorsing Carrie Lake right now?
Oh yeah, she's still all up in his shorts. Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, she's up in his shorts, but is he sort of like putting like I don't really know.
I haven't followed it that close, but I know that in 2022, right? Not some, all of the candidates that he endorsed, Herschel Walker, Dr. Oz, Carrie Lake, they all fucking lost. All of them. Yeah. Right? And there was one in Michigan too. I forget her name. All of them lost. And it's hilarious because it's like he's telling his people, go out and vote for this person. And they're like, nah. So like that's what I'm saying. It's funny. Like you have to appreciate it in a weird way because like I would rather somebody be like, fuck you, you're not telling me who to vote for than yes, sir, I will do whatever you tell me. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I hear you.
I think it's funny, and I think he will win Arizona. I think she will lose Arizona, and that she will keep running until she wins something. I don't know.
She does not know how to take the L. That's what's really funny. Like, look, you fucking look.
Yeah,
they have her on these.
Dude,
they have her.
Dude, she lost to an opponent for governor who didn't leave her basement. She didn't even
have her. They have her on these local news channels, and people are getting outright combative with her. I'm talking like the local Fox network. Will be talking with her and just be really combative with her. And she just still is on this thing that I'm telling you, those Dominion voter machines, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, just take the L and move on.
Listen, my grandma had a saying that applies to her. She's 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
That's funny. That's I've never heard that one.
And I think it is so funny.
Let's end the episode on that. She's 10 pounds. Just call the episode. She is
10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
Call the episode 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
I just find also, it hilarious. The other one was, is this consensual?
Yeah.
Question mark.
So it should be, is this consensual and 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag?
I like both. Okay. Yeah. This is a good thing down. We agree on her for sure. And I think it is hilarious that you and I agree there's a good chance he wins Arizona, but she loses anyway. Because his voters don't want to be told what to do.
Well, it's that, but she's also shot herself in the foot by being such a wackadoodle. She's not doing herself any favors.
But again, though, if every Trump voter voted for her, she'd win, assuming he wins, right?
They won't go across the board. In other words,
no, they don't listen.
Won't do that.
They don't listen. They don't want to be told. And again, I can respect that. They don't want to be told. Don't tell me who to vote for. I'll kind of like that. I give him credit. Credit where it's due. I like it. And you like it too. Like if you have to have him, wouldn't you rather her lose? Like, doesn't that make it funny?
If I have to have Trump, would I rather her to lose?
I'm saying, wouldn't you rather her lose than win?
Well, of course I want Carrie Lake.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
I mean, and then she'll run for like fucking dog catcher in 2026 or whatever, right? Or something.
She will be like syphilis and not go away. She's not going to go away.
She's like the Hillary of the Republicans. She's
not going to go away. She should really take the fucking L and just realize.
She creeps me out, man. She really.
You know what it is? People don't like her. That's it.
She's creepy. Something about her, man. It's just 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag, like I said. I mean,
people don't like her. She's not resonating with people. They don't like her.
Well,
she had an event a couple blocks away from here. There's this very sort of Catholic church over here, 5 blocks away. Yeah. They had a big Moms for Liberty event right over there. It's 5 blocks from where I live. And she was there and stuff like that. And so, I mean, I'm not going out there to protest. I'm not doing anything like that. But I was like aware of it. Like, I don't like this fucking nasty, this thing so close to my house. And I did sort of do a drive by or whatever. And then, oh yeah, there's Confederate flags out there, and just I didn't see any
That
swastikas
doesn't even
this
make
time.
sense in Arizona. That doesn't even make sense.
Bro, there are so many Confederate flags out here. But here's what I'm
It
saying.
makes no sense.
I know
Arizona wasn't a state during the Civil War.
they're not bright. But like I don't. But I see a lot. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. There's a town. I live in Mesa, and you go east of here. There's a town called Apache Junction, which is way more right wing than even this town.
Right.
So you go to Apache Junction. Any town with the word junction in it is going to be really fucking right wing. So you go to Apache Junction. 4 years ago, I mean, every other truck would have a fuck Confederate flag on it, Gadsden flag, Trump flag, hands down, parading up and down the
Look,
street.
man, I don't care if someone's conservative. I'm cool with that, whatever. But the Confederate flag in Arizona makes no sense. It makes no sense.
But then, so now I had to go down there the other day and drive around, I didn't see anything. And I'm like, wow, this is really palpable.
We need to start a town called Jew-hating Junction.
It's kind of like, remember Howard had that when he called the cowboy hat the N hating hat. Remember that?
Yeah,
funny, man. And they're like, yeah, it's good. Anyway, it's been a long show, and I'm going
to do the same, the outro, so you can see your video again.
The last hour of the show got heavily political, but that's okay. I think we navigated those waters as best as anyone could. It would be super
boring if we agreed on everything. It would be boring as shit.
And it's good that you don't resort to name calling or anything like that. So that's
I'll call you names, but in love.
You better watch what you call me.
All right, snap ahead. I'll come up with something.
Love you, bro.
Here's the outro.
Love you.
Heeb and Goy, Heeb and Goy, we would like to welcome you. Heeb and Goy, Heeb and Goy, one Gentile